There you go.
There it is. Wow, so exciting.
Beane Zimmerman. Talking guitars with Mama Cuda. It's time for the Mama Cuda show with Mama Cuda. You know she's all about metal.
Hey,
I have not missed this at all. Nope.
It's kind of like a cold sore, right? It just comes on every week.
You're still hitting an open wound there, son. I still got a little bit of the flag.
How you feeling today, Paulie?
Better. My voice is still a little rough. My snot is still a little thick. But I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be accused. Yeah, I didn't want to be accused of bullying anybody this week, so I decided I would show up.
Just to defend yourself?
I don't have to defend myself. Not to you, fucking people.
Yard bullies.
Yeah.
It's back.
Hey, he's right below you, Paulie. If you want to just knock him on the noggin, and
I'll just teabag him with my nuts occasionally.
Let me show you how it's done. Let me show you how it's done. Just do this to him.
It's going to be just right, and then he'll come in on it.
Come what?
He's waiting for the perfect time tonight.
Oh no, I'm going to joke snipe you for the next 2 hours.
Well, okay, we're on for 3. So
you want to wake up the bully? Okay.
The last hour will be fine.
Poke the bully bear.
Yeah, Kurt 5150 knows. He's like, why did you even come back? I didn't come back. Here's the thing. I got a fucking order. This is the strangest thing in the world. Somebody's feeling his oats. Last week he decides to call me a bully. And this week I get a text like 3 hours ago. Hey, make sure you watch Metal Lords before the show tonight. What the fuck are you, my teacher?
Trying to get some show prep together. I thought you guys would be like, yeah, okay, that's a great idea.
You know what? John, turn the show over to Dane.
You know what's funny? It's not like we prep anything else for the show. It's like Dane texted me the same text. And I'm like, I don't know if I don't know. No. Look, Dane, I'm happy. Look, I'm happy you're invested into the show. I didn't watch it.
To do a little show prep.
No, that's good. That's good. Look,
I didn't even get a text.
I didn't watch.
I knew you wouldn't watch the movie.
Well, he also knew you wouldn't talk during the episode, Johnny. He said,
well, did you watch yesterday?
No, I did not. But I heard it was a lot of talking.
Big news yesterday.
We're gonna talk about that through the day because it's expanded news today. But look, as far as Dane goes, I also got a text. I didn't get a chance to watch that because I figured like if I would have had a few days advance, I could have scheduled a movie in my schedule.
What are you doing? What are you doing? You've been in Long Island for like 7 months.
I'm busy today. I got stuff to mail out. I got emails to answer. I got Mama Cuda to take places. Believe me, I got a lot on my plate. Let me tell you something. Today I woke up. You know what today's emergency was? I woke up today, John. You know, my registration on my car has been expired for a month already. Did you know this? I said, how would I know this, Ma? You get your mail.
But you've been there for 6 months. You should have seen it.
I shouldn't have seen it. The mechanic didn't see it. I didn't see it. No police cared about it. It's almost, it's not even a month. It's a few weeks expired. But it was the end of the world because for most of the day, she's running around the house like a chicken without a head. My registration's expired. What do I do? Do I go to the DMV? Do I go online? Hey, why didn't I see it in the mail? Did you get the mail? I didn't see it in the mail. Did you see it in the mail? Look on the car. See what day it expired. Are you sure it's expired? What do I do with it now? This went on until at one point during lunch, she finally just said, okay, it's done. Huh? What's done? I finished my registration. I did it online. Okay, that's it. Tragedy narrowly averted. Well, they charge all those hidden fees. And do you know how to take that sticker off when the new one arrives? Yeah, I know how to take the fucking sticker off. I mean, what else? It's a razor blade. What's to know?
You put the new sticker over top of the old one.
And then, just when I had a few minutes of peace, I thought, okay, today will be a calm day. The doctor wants to stick something down my throat now. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Wait,
I know
what?
a lot of men want to stick something down your throat. What are you talking about? Well, they want to stick something down my throat to take a look. And he says he's got a special tool. I'm like, Ma, I think this is just the doctor trying to get a blowjob from you. And no. They want to send a camera down there and see what's going on. And I said, well, that's a kinky guy. I guess they started making those GoPros, in porn size. But okay, yeah, we'll go with it, Ma. But I have plenty to do. Trust me. There's a lot of handling to go on for me.
I don't like the idea of you handling your mother. That's
the way I manhandle her.
I like to handle her.
I like the way she's handled. I need my problems handled.
Handling, yes.
I need some problems handled.
John, I need you to handle me.
I need some problems handled. Here's $25,000 and an address. Handle it.
You have my attention. I know a guy.
I thought I had your attention when Mama Kuda needed something shoved down her throat.
Oh, come on. That's just... Sorry.
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah. Johnny, you get commercials on your show.
Yeah. Nice. Very
Newsted. Nice. Congratulations, man.
Why, is he a doctor now?
Yeah. No, he said he has, now I forgot.
Syphilis?
What did he say? He said he's got a brand new Frankie relic arriving Friday.
Oh, that's different. That's even better,
dude.
That's different. That's even better. Congrats, man.
Great guitars.
Big news. Good stuff. Hey, let's say hello to everyone out there in the audience who we love and appreciate, but especially let's give a big shout out to our executive producers, the big bosses. These guys paid money to be here. Do you believe it? Not that we see any of it, but
I was going to say we don't see any of that money.
Yeah, they paid money to be here, so we might as well give them a shout out because they're the ones responsible for all the lawsuits we get initiated. So let's give a thank you to executive producers Dave Ennis, Vinyl Freak 5150, Mike Neese, Music Therapy Laz, Majestic PB&J Cat, Wayno, False Flag, Sherman Callahan, Andy Carson, ADHD Sharp, Michael B, Arhabs, Warlag, the Chad, Lawrence Christensen, Linny Lou, who I hope is feeling better, and my little geriatric sex kitten Mary, James Gum, John Moronic, Paul Martin Woods, Stephen Franklin, Michael the Captain Smith, Thomas Santiago, Joe Christian, Jimmy Ray Hawkins, David Allen Wright, and Steve Carmichael. Those are the fools. I mean, the people that have paid money to the executive producers. If you'd like to become an executive producer of the show, be a channel member, click the join button. Johnny, where's that join button?
It's right below the 18 thumbs ups.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, you guys.
And of course, if you like the show, if you're one of the few, even my mother's not, you can leave a review for us on Google. I don't know how, Paulie, but the reviews have been rave reviews, actually. Have you read these reviews? They're actually good. I don't think they're watching the right show. I don't think they're watching the show.
Or they're fake reviews that we're all writing under assumed names.
Yeah, Dane, did you fill in one of those under another name or something?
No, I didn't participate in that. I probably should get on there and write a review.
You didn't fill out 17 of them under different names?
These reviews are really good. People are saying we're funny and they're entertaining, and I don't understand.
Those are all lies. Those are all
they are lies, and I'm wondering why. Why? There's always a conspiracy. There's a reason. Did you do this, Blue Rhino? Did you? Well, I didn't do nothing. I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, listen, anyway, thank you for the nice Google reviews. We really love and appreciate them. And we love and appreciate you, our audience. So welcome 10 minutes in to Talking Guitars and 80s Metal live.
All right, I'm going to put Johnny. Johnny on a word count.
Beane? Huh?
I'm going to put Johnny on a word count. I'm going to say less than 100 for the show. Johnny gets less than 100 words.
I'll take the under on that. I'll take the under on that.
I mean, since
hold on, Johnny, you're making me lose already. Don't say nothing unnecessary.
Every time I talk, I actually have to cough. So that's actually today.
This is what happened. This is why. That's because Dane called me last week. It came through the phone and got to you. You got the schmeg.
Yeah, actually, I started feeling it last Tuesday while I was sitting here. I started feeling kind of strange, and then the whole since now it's just like a weird, just strange.
You mean Stephen Strange? Is that who you were feeling?
I don't know. Mark Dillon,
new member,
starter package, dude.
Nice.
Thank you, Mark Dillon.
Way to go, Mark Dillon, rising in the ranks. Johnny, give a roll call if you could.
Let's see. We got.
This is my way of getting Johnny to talk, boy.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, but that's going to put him on the over, you idiot.
We got Alice Martinez, Andy Carson. Thank you again, Andy Carson, for the prize you gave out on when was that? Friday. Thank you so much, man.
Giving out prizes.
Bozique, Cameron Brown, Christopher Livesawa, Dan of New Jersey, Gretsch Zeppelin, Hip Metalworks, Janice Lala, Joe Hervey 84, Keith Campbell, Kevin Coachell, Kai Matthews, Mark Dillon, again, welcome. Megatod 707, Michael B. So you changed your name back from ADHD Sharp now to Michael B.E.
It means more graphics work for Johnny.
Yeah. Mike Neese, Mr. Mick, Octopus Ears, R2R3 Locking Nut, Robert Ranford, Rock Daddy, Sherman Callahan, Symmetry. I missed you guys on GTA last night because I had to go to bed. Thomas Santiago, Vista Light, 1972, Warlag, Yostinator, and probably several more people. And
he's there, Paulie. You win. He's there.
Yeah.
That was over 100. That was it. Thank you, everybody. Welcome. We have a lot to talk about today. There's a lot of news. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of speculation. Real quick, just to address something Bozique brought up. Mancuda, when does your movie come out? There's two of them coming out later this year. The first one actually had an advanced screening in LA last night called I Am Gitmo, Gitmo, after the camp, the prison camp Gitmo. And there was an advanced screening in Los Angeles last night. I did not attend. A lot of people I knew attended and all sent me messages that the movie looks really cool and it was good. And I was really sad that I couldn't be there. So if anyone from the movie is watching, I'm sorry I couldn't be there, but I'll attend another screening another time. But I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. And thank you for the screen grab. Let's see, who sent me that one? Whoever sent me the screen grab, thank you. Glad you guys enjoyed it. And so that'll be coming out first, apparently, since they did an advanced screening of that. I Am Gitmo, Gitmo. Otherwise, how was everyone's Easter? How was everyone's Passover?
That's right on over it.
I don't do it.
Yeah,
all right. Well, that was cool. Yeah, we did good. Did good. Blue Rhino had some Cadbury cream eggs and called it a day.
I cut my grass at my house.
I could see you, Dane, dressing as a bunny and terrorizing children running through the streets in Arizona. I could see that. What do you want with my eggs? What are you doing with those? Put those damn eggs down. Kids. You know those Cadbury cream eggs commercials? You know, we're looking for a replacement for the Cadbury bunny, and they have like a cat and a lion and a giraffe. And I could just see Dane with the bunny ears, bok bok
Sure.
bok bok bok, bok 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 bok. Be great.
Yeah, set me up with that gig. That would be fun.
I would love that.
I-
Hey,
there-
listen, there's
that
an
is-
there's an
I
opening
could
for
never
the
be an
Affleck doc.
actor. I know I could never be an actor. I can't remember the
Why?
lines. None of that.
Line schmines. Just do improv.
I'm not good at that either.
Just do silent movies.
Neither are we, and we're here.
Just do prawn.
Let's see.
No, you guys are good at improv.
We are? We are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we're very good at improv.
Speaking of which.
Whose line is it anyway, right? Was that the big improv show from back in the day?
Was it?
Yeah.
Back in the day, what was that, the 40s?
Yeah. No, the
Whose
90s.
line is it anywhere was a great show.
I
Yeah.
never saw it.
Who was the host of that again? Drew Carey?
Yeah.
Drew Carey was the
Oh,
host.
there's a modern version of that then. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
I never watched it. Let's see, the late 90s, I was contemplating suicide because the music scene sucked. So
Oh my gosh.
there you go. There was the late 90s. Jesus. Let's see what we got here.
How's Drew Carey doing these days? Still
Making
doing
$8
the
million.
Price is Right?
Yeah, making $9 million a year to work 4 days a week, 20 weeks a year. He's doing just
better
fine.
than us.
He
He's
is
doing better
really
than us. Yeah.
good.
Yeah, he's doing just fine.
He's lost some weight. His beard's all gray and everything now.
Speaking of which, happy birthday today to former host on the show, David Nesdall. Wish my buddy Dave Nesdall.
Speaking of
a
gray hair,
birthday.
is that
Well, he said, speaking of gray beard and lost weight, David Nesdall.
speaking of old?
Just remind me, Jesus.
And he's still
one
doing a
year
lot of-
older today. Happy
He's still
birthday
doing a
to
lot of
you,
live
Dave.
streams and stuff like that. He's got his own channel.
Yeah, he's got his own thing. We wish him well, and he's a friend, and I just want to wish him a public happy birthday. And if you haven't wished Dave happy birthday, go on Facebook, wish him a happy birthday.
Yeah. Actually, wish him happy birthday in the chat here and smash a thumbs up for his birthday.
There we go.
That's
Smash
right,
the
Johnny.
thumbs up.
That's an opportunity for Johnny to
In fact,
benefit for somebody else's
yeah,
good feelings.
in fact, if you want to celebrate Dave's birthday the right way, you can change Johnny's lights by hitting a super chat in Dave's honor.
Those are the birthday lights back there.
Yes, birthday lights.
Happy birthday! Hit the like button. Happy birthday! You know, I used
Send
to
us
give
some
birthday
money.
punches.
Happy
Instead of birthday punches,
birthday,
give
Tessie
birthday
Switch,
thumbs
another
up.
free shit.
And what better way to celebrate Dave's birthday than with delicious Colonel's Gourmet Popcorn? Colonel's Gourmet Popcorn and more. Delicious Colonel's Gourmet Popcorn and more. Sponsor of the show, proud sponsor of the show. Dave loves delicious Colonel's Gourmet Popcorn and more. You should send a box to my buddy Dave, care of, send Dave a box. They probably
Care
have his
of you.
address over there somewhere. They send it there. And let's see. Colonel's Gourmet Popcorn and more. Delicious Colonel's Gourmet Popcorn. Nuts, chocolate, candy, all sorts of treats. And when you mention Dave Nesdall, Johnny Beane, or Jay Hannon, you get more product. More product. They give you bigger bags of that delicious popcorn, those nuts, that candy coated yumminess, that chocolatey goodness. It is so good. Thank you, Alice Martinez. Really is. It's the best popcorn out there. Buy Dave a box for his birthday, or get yourself some and celebrate at home. The big event. Colonel's delicious gourmet popcorn and more. Thank you, Colonel's.
Wonderful stuff.
Can you go for that right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, James? G?
Thank you,
There you
James G.
go. Oh,
There you go.
awesome.
Thank you, James J. You seeing this, boy?
I
Awesome.
didn't see what James did. Oh, happy birthday, Dave. Nice job.
Happy birthday. Thank you, James G.
Thank you, James J.
So, Johnny, I see you don't have the green screen behind you any longer. So you were able to clean up the crime scene there behind you.
Yeah, what was there
Apparently-
blood splatter on the wall?
Oh,
What
you're
happened?
talking about last week?
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, last
Yeah, what
last
was
week
the deal with that?
I had to have the green screen set up.
What was going on behind it? Did you have the brothel going? What happened?
He was finally taking his Christmas tree down or something.
Yeah, Christmas tree had been up and everything else. Smashed pumpkins everywhere, all that
Blood
stuff.
splatter, traced
Spring
outline on
clean.
the ground.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. And in other big news, Mexican pizza is coming back to Taco Bell. If you like the Mexican pizza, smash that like button. How many of you guys like that Mexican pizza?
Is it Mexican pizza just quesadilla?
It's actually let's see, it's a taco basically flattened with
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's quesadilla. It's got dough, it's got cheese, it's got.
Well, no,
a
it's not.
topping
It's
on
not
it.
dough. It's the crunchy taco shell bottom. Then it's got
that's
ground
not
beef
pizza.
or whatever that is, and refried beans. Then another taco shell on top of it, and then
That's
you
more
have
lasagna
the
than it is
cheese and that
pizza.
shit. Yeah, that's almost like Mexican lasagnas. Really.
Yeah, it's not. A Mexican pizza would be.
But it's flat and round, so it's basically a taco shell flattened out. But it's good.
Okay.
Christopher Live Sour
It's
says
like, hey,
it's a
we got
double
all these
Tostito.
flat taco shells. What can we do with all these flat taco shells?
Johnny,
Well,
bring a
let's make
photo of it
Mexican
up on
pizza out of
screen
it.
because there's a good photo of it. Taco Bell's promoting. That looks pretty damn good. Is that from Taco Bell's website?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks good.
I
That's
think
coming
that's-
back.
Basically, isn't that a quesadilla though? Honestly,
Kind of, yeah.
Constructed taco flat.
It's like an open quesadilla.
Case of dildo. Octopus Ear says their beef is full of substitutes. You mean substitute teachers? They brutalize them and chop
Oh.
them up? Is that what it is?
Oh, that's gross.
Mhm.
That's
it does sometimes.
Mexican pizza is
honestly-
people.
It does honestly give you the runs sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
What time does it not? Yeah, that thing's delicious though. What's funny? When I go to Taco Bell here in New York, because we don't really have great Mexican food out here in New York, so we hit Taco Bell. I always get like the Taco Supremes, and that's like my go-to. I get those, maybe a chicken quesadilla, but that's my go-to is the Taco Supremes. When I'm in Los Angeles, we have thousands of delicious, amazing taco trucks selling street tacos, like real deal, good, authentic stuff. So I get those. I don't even know why though, but I'm so excited that the Mexican pizza is coming back.
Well, I'm sure the next time you're at Taco Bell, order one, eat it, and then all the excitement will go away and you'll be over it.
Yeah, it'll go right out my colon. Blast right out my colon. And I mean blast.
Yeah,
There.
I liked the chicken chalupa,
Chalupa.
or the fried chicken chalupa, where it was all like fried chicken. Remember that one?
It was fried chicken, like KFC fried chicken,
Like nope, like
breaded-
instead of bread, instead of chalupa bread, it's just fried chicken wrapped, and then with the stuff inside it.
I think I remember something like that.
Those are pretty good.
Yeah, if you live in LA, you don't get Taco Bell. There's no reason to because there's all night taco trucks. There's delicious, amazing taco trucks. But out here in New York, where I am right now at Mama Kuda's, there is great deli, great bagels, great pizza, but there is not really great Mexican, not on impulse. And I love Taco Bell, but it's not authentic stuff you get in Los Angeles. It's not the street tacos.
No,
I actually don't. I don't eat Taco Bell or junk food like that. So it's fun to look at, but I don't eat tacos. I don't eat Mexican
You never
food.
get that 2 a.m. craving, Paulie?
No. If I do, I grab one of those shitty Tina's microwave burritos.
Oh, well, those things, that's like an anal torpedo. I mean, that thing, holy shit. They should send a bunch of those to Ukraine. You want to beat the Russians? Here's how to do it.
Better than Taco Bell.
Here's how to do it. Create mud slicks out of your ass that their tanks can't get through.
Better than Taco Bell. And cheaper.
Those are those ones you get they're like $1 each.
Yeah, they're like three for $1. Tina's burritos.
Three for $1.
Oh, they're
33
awesome.
cents of quality.
Yep. Worth it.
What is it? Is it meat and beans or just beans?
It's some sort of gruel. It's I don't know what it is. I don't care. I don't even look at the label. I don't give a shit. It's probably got 9,000 grams
you give
of
a
sodium
shit.
per bite.
You give a shit. Believe me, after one of those, you give a lot of shit.
No, they're good.
33 cents of quality. I can only imagine what the ingredients are.
Don't care. I know what goes in a hot dog, and I eat that too.
Yeah, well, lips and assholes, but we love hot dogs.
Yep.
There's a difference. Barbacoa street tacos are out of hand. Yeah, I love street tacos, man. They're delicious. They're absolutely delicious.
Street Tacos is a good band name, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
That's also what I call prostitutes on the corner. Street tacos.
That's not at all racist.
Dish tacos.
Where's it racist? Tacos, another name for the vajayjay. Pink tacos. So you guys in the chat all seem to like it.
7-Eleven burritos. Or they could sell them at the
Can you guys
Circle-
hear my eye?
Get them big, giant
Hear
burritos.
your
Like
eye?
this big.
What do you mean, hear
gross.
your-
I hear
What
that.
Oh, God.
Oh, he's congested.
It sounds
That's
like
my
you're
eye.
finger fucking someone on the air.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. That's my eye.
I made that sound when I jerk off.
Yep. There you go.
Do you ever see that where people can drink milk and then squeeze it somehow and it comes out of their eye sockets?
While I
Seriously,
jerk
can
off.
do that. While they have it
Oh.
in their mouth, they can somehow do something and squeeze it and the shit comes out of their nose and their eye sockets.
I
Mhm.
wanna meet a girl that I can come in her mouth and she'll blink and like a drop of my jizz will trickle down like a tear. If I can meet that woman, I will put a ring on your finger.
Wow.
That's my new thing.
A cock ring. Yeah.
I'm gonna put that in a dating profile soon. I'm gonna go on a dating website and I'm gonna just looking for a girl that can have my ejaculate dripping out her tear ducts.
Hi, Ellie.
Great timing on that one, Paul.
Thank you.
And I'm
Timing.
gonna play Asia's "Don't Cry" during that song.
Don't cry now that I found you.
Don't
I love
cry,
that
shoot
tune.
my jizz
I'm an
around
Asia fan.
you.
I can't help it. I love that band, Asia. They were a good band.
Asia was great.
The first album.
First album is
Yeah.
interesting. Same
The
thing.
first
It's,
two. The first
a lo-
two.
a lot of those records, it's interesting with those sort of side bands. Asia, GTR, Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman Howe. Those are obviously
Saga.
they're all Yes. Well, Saga wasn't a Yes offshoot. Saga was a band unto itself. In fact, all that stuff has been re-released for some stupid reason.
Because it's good.
Yeah, I know, but it's just weird that it's being like that of all the band, like for Record Store Day, which is this weekend. Go out and support your local record store. They're
Absolutely.
re-releasing the first Detective record on vinyl, and I thought to myself, in what world did somebody think that was a high demand item? Now, don't get me
No.
wrong, I own everything Detective has released. They're a great band. It's Michael DeBar, and it was basically a band that was on Swan Song Records that sounded somewhat like Led Zeppelin. In fact, Andy Johns was the engineer producer, and if you listen to some Detective music, you'll hear a distinct John Bonham drum sound. It's really, really good band. They weren't, they were like, you had Zeppelin, Bad Company, and Detective were all sort of on the same label, and Detective was a pretty good band, but they opened for Kiss back in the 70s. Nobody cares. To give you an idea who Detective was, remember the episode of WKRP in Cincinnati where they had the band Scum of the Earth came in to WKRP to do the in studio and they played? That was actually Detective. It was Detective. They played the band Scum of the Earth.
I think that was you that sent me a copy of the album. You sent me the digital of the album or a link to it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you like them. I remember.
Yeah, they're pretty good. But in what world did somebody thought, okay, this is worthy of printing up, a couple thousand of these things for Record Store Day?
There was an episode of WKRP where the sales rep guy that wore the white shoes and everything, he went into a stereo shop, and the guy trying to sell stereo equipment, home stereo equipment, put on a record, and it was a Van Halen song. It was On Fire, I think. But
nice.
10 seconds of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they paid for that.
That was Van Halen's television, first time on television right there, hearing their music.
Hellstorm brings up Asia's album Area. I never heard Area. He says Al Petrelli was on it. I know Asia, Alpha, Astra, and then after that I kind of lost interest. Did either of you guys hear Aria?
No, the first record is good. And even Alpha, I didn't even get into.
The second record has maybe 3 good songs on it, like half of
second record. Alpha had a bunch of videos done for it,
and then the third album had with Don't Cry had a different guitar player.
Don't Cry was on what, the first or second album?
I think it was on the third.
No, the third. I didn't remember anything. The third was Astra, and I don't remember anything pop coming off of there.
The only songs that still get played on the radio, the Heat of the Moment still gets played on the radio, and that's it.
And Don't Cry.
I thought Soul Survivor was a great song.
That was a great song.
Yeah, Soul Survivor I thought was
Only
one of the better
Time Will Tell was a radio hit back in the day.
Yeah.
But Zeke brings up Cinderella as the Pat's Dogs band. Yeah, Cinderella, but Cinderella didn't call themselves the Pat's Dogs band. They were in that Pat's Dogs commercial, and they sang the Pat's Dog jingle that they made. But they even said at the beginning, "We're Cinderella for Pat's Dogs." So they were still playing that commercial as Cinderella. Pat's Dogs! The cook is never tired!
And what's funny, they thought that would somehow help their career, right?
It did.
Well, here we are 40 years later talking about it.
I know, but is that what helped their career? Because I never saw that until like a year ago.
It was a local eatery in Philadelphia.
It was
Philadelphia,
a local
Jersey.
hot dog stand they would always hit after local gigs because they were playing bars, and they saw that place wanted to advertise on MTV. So they said, hey, if we do a commercial with them, we'll technically be on MTV. And they were. So that actually got on before any of their videos.
Oh, wow.
So think about that. Let's see. A member of Cinderella.
I think Cinderella never got their due.
Needed to sell his Porsche to a local pro audio guy when he went broke. I didn't know that. That sucks. I know it wasn't Tom Kiefer because Tom's doing fine.
Jeff was a screw up.
Jeff LeBar.
Yeah,
that's so sad. I got one of his. I got his gem guitar from the Long Cold Winter tour. Sad, real sad loss.
Now he was certainly an interesting. I think I told you the story of when Cinderella opened for Motley Crue, and somebody lost their gig that night because Jeff's amp wall, something wasn't working correctly, and he couldn't hear his guitar. And he basically took this was at the Providence Civic Center. So if anybody in the chat was at this show, you'll remember this. Jeff took his guitar off and basically threw it through a 4x12 on stage. He was pissed and stormed off stage in the middle of a song. I think they were doing, I don't know, Push Push or something, Somebody Save Me or something like that. It wasn't one of the big songs, but you couldn't hear his guitar. I think it was Somebody Save Me. And he was yelling at the guy off the stage and yelling and yelling and yelling. He took the guitar off and then, neck first through the 4x12 like you see stereotypically in every rock star movie. Very cliche, but genuine.
But you know what? You have to when you have to lash out. That's your target. You just see like the speaker's not giving you the music. You just take your guitar neck through, bam. That's it.
Yeah,
It's better than what Chris Holmes did. Chris Holmes took it out on the board guy. He just over the audience's head, just fucking tomahawked it, just trying to hit the guy. I mean, that's how you got the yellow shit guitar broken in 2 pieces. He just was like, "Fuck this," and he just like, "You," and he's just like, "Ah."
Oh, that's so
Great
dangerous.
stuff. Rock
Yeah, it's
stuff.
super dangerous.
What if he
Speaking
would've
of
hit
Chris
somebody
Holmes,
in the
by the
face
way,
with that?
Speaking of Chris
he wouldn't
Holmes,
have a
let's-
career
let's-
today.
Well, he was
Oh,
trying to hit someone in the face. The soundboard guy.
Back in the 80s, there wasn't all the lawsuits. If you get hurt at a freaking cool concert somewhere,
It was a
it's
good
just
story.
good story. It's a good story.
Great
There's no
story. It's a
lawsuit
great
that's to
story,
follow.
yeah. Speaking of Chris Holmes,
I
we
mean, I
want
was
to wear.
molested at a Killer Dwarf show.
We want to, and you didn't sue for that?
No, no, but I've been through years of therapy. I'm trying to recreate that situation.
So is
Once in
that
a
girl.
lifetime.
She reaches behind her in the subway and just starts pumping guys. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were near the fall. Let's wish from our show to Chris Holmes and Kathy Sarah Holmes. Well wishes.
Excuse me.
Chris is going through his 6th week of treatment now for his throat cancer. And apparently Thursday will be his last day of radiation. So here's a big shout out and well wishes from us to you, Chris. I know we have friends in that camp, and I know Kathy sometimes catches the show. So well wishes from us to you for a good, speedy healing recovery on your throat cancer, Chris. There you go.
Yes. All the best, man.
That's a horrible thing to have to go through.
And Wasp is not the same band without Chris Holmes in it. It's great with Chris Holmes in it.
Yeah, and Chris was talking in some interviews about, you know, the whole thing with he never got paid as a member of Wasp. You know, the whole idea is
he never got
found
paid
out
as a
years
songwriter.
later.
Yeah.
He found out years later that the only one of the band that the record label actually signed to contract was Blackie, and that he was listed in the songwriting credits as session player. So he's sued multiple times and he's won twice, you know, for songwriting credits that, you know, he didn't get the opportunity for the rights of, or, you know, the royalties he should have. Blackie's the only one that's gotten paid that way in the band. Everyone else is, you know, a session player for hire.
I saw a little meme, and it was Blackie Lawless, but they had Jackie Chan's face, so they called it Jackie Lawless.
That's pretty funny. Well, Blackie certainly ate the profits, if anything. So
Yeah, he looks like Fat Dana Delaney.
jeez. I mean, I can't deny the guy's credit, but man, that just sucks. That's the thing about the music business, especially back in the day. It was just so underhanded that if you really didn't know what you were doing in what you were signing or not getting the chance to sign, you really gotten screwed. Just ask Jakey Lee.
Yeah, there was no. I mean, the average guy didn't know what publishing rights meant. You know, publishing rights. Publish? What are they going to publish? Like even Tom Petty was like, publishing rights? I don't know what that is. Is it in case somebody publishes like a songbook of Tom Petty songs? He had no idea what the publishing was about.
And what's really funny is Blackie says in interviews, he's like, look, I didn't do the business end of it. I don't know what happened with Chris and, you know, what happened with Randy. And, you know, I know what I signed. I knew what to look for, and that's what I signed. But, you know, you can't hold me accountable for, you know. And Chris is like, Blackie told me I can't have Wasp without you. I need you to be a part of this band. You are part of the sound. I can't do Wasp without you, right at the beginning.
And he's right.
You know, yeah. And looking at the song credits, you know, Chris got some songwriting credit on the album jacket, but on a technical level as a session player, not as a full member of the band. There was no full members of the band.
This is a problem with any band situation. Unless it's Bruce Springsteen, and the E Street Band are Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and whatever it is. The Heartbreakers and the E Street Band, those are interchangeable parts. But when you're a band like Cinderella, like Wasp, like Van Halen, like when you're a band and the 4 or 5 or 6, depending on how many members of the band, make up the entirety of the band and the chemistry of the band, then everything should be split 4 ways. I don't give a shit who wrote the songs or who wrote the solo or whose guitar cable it is or whatever it is. When you are 4 people together as a partnership in one corporation, everything gets split 4 ways.
I agree.
That's my opinion. That's the way I think it should be.
I agree. And this is the problem. I hate to reiterate this. This is the problem. I'm going to vent for a second. This is the problem that we had with Popcorn the band. You had Johnny, Paulie, myself, Blue Rhino, all agreeing to split it. JoJo the Chimp was the only one of the 5 of us that is like, I want more exposure. I want my own album cover. I want special editions. I want more royalties. I want more songwriting. Fuck him. Fuck you, JoJo. That's it.
Yeah, I'm going to, unlike you, I'm going to abide by the terms of the non-disclosure agreement we signed.
Well, let him sue me again. Just so tired of it.
But yeah, to me, if it
really messed up when you put JoJo the Monkey's butt right on the album cover, that was a bad decision, right?
That wasn't my choice. That wasn't at all my choice. That was a contract negotiation. I'm leaving the band if you right in the middle of a fucking tour.
Now it
didn't look like a chimp; it looked like a baboon.
And I think there's a caveat to that. I think if you're a Phil X or you're a Hugh McDonald or you're one of those guys that came in after the band was established, I think you get an equal share of whatever happens moving forward. But I think that when you're touring with the band, you get whatever a fifth of whatever the band makes for that show. And look, that's one of the things that I think a band should agree to. If you're hiring somebody, you're paid whatever that position pays. And to me, if it takes all 4 members of Led Zeppelin to make Led Zeppelin, then all 4 members get the same amount of money. If it takes all 4 members, the Police, I can't imagine anybody else in the Police. I can't imagine anyone else in U2. You know what I mean?
I can imagine Johnny in the Police because Johnny can imagine it.
But U2
be in the Police.
But my point being, those guys, Rush, for example, if they were to go back out, and they're not going to, despite his wet dream to the contrary, they're not going to go back out as Rush with Mike Portnoy. That's not going to happen. Let's all stop talking about it. But if they were to do that, Mike Portnoy would be a hired gun. And if they make a record moving forward, then yes, he gets a portion of, a third of whatever that is. But remember, Neil wrote all the songs in Rush. So it's very difficult, all the lyrics anyway. It would be very difficult for them to write that moving forward. There's a reason why the Rush album
none of
sold.
them would be making any money going forward if they continue.
Well, no, if you look at what Geddy Lee's solo record did, and you look at what the Victor album did from Alex Lifeson, you realize what those guys, what their potential is as a contributor, because they were already in an amazing, massive band. The Victor record and the Geddy Lee records should have sold. They should have those. The first time a member of Rush does a solo record, those records should have sold, but they didn't because they weren't good.
And let me point out, Can't Drive 55 brought up what I was just about to bring up. Michael Anthony during the 2004 Van Halen tour. To be a part of that tour, he had to sign away his rights to the songs, to the logo, to the merch, just to get on that tour. That's fucked. I'm sorry.
That's harsh.
Yeah, I always heard rumors that management made more money than Michael Anthony made.
They did.
Management makes a percentage. So whatever the band got per show, if the band got $1 million per show, the management made their 10% or whatever it was.
But to make Michael Anthony a hired gun, I mean, that sounds just like sour grapes later on. And
it's very Sharon Osbourne in its assholeness.
Yeah. Wow, Sherman Callahan. Look at that super chat. Holy shit. It's a blue hippo cyborg. We're going to send those into Ukraine. Blue hippo cyborgs. Look at that.
I think the audience is just completely shocked. We're actually talking about 80s guitars and metal.
Well, we were talking about my mother and pizza tacos. So, So we've moved on to music. Yeah, no, that is a dark moment in Van Halen history. And speaking of Van Halen, we might as well dive into the big story that's been circulating the internet the last few days. So Jason Newsted, I think, broke it first that he was approached for a Van Halen tribute tour, and that alone comes as a shock to me, because as members of the family, you already have Wolfgang in the family as an established bass player of the band, number one. Number two, you have Michael Anthony, who should be included no matter what incarnation they do of a tribute to it. And number three, that's the first guy that's approached, or the first guy at least to break their silence of being approached. Day later, Joe Satriani broke his silence and admitted he was approached to be the guitar end of a Van Halen tribute band tour. And shortly after, David Lee Roth broke his silence that he also said regarding that there's something they're trying to brew down. And in a nutshell, he feels that with that, there should be two people for each position. He felt that on bass, it should be Jason Newsted. I don't know where that name even came from regarding Van Halen. And Michael Anthony. Drums, it should be Alex and Tommy Lee, which kind of throws in the face the stadium tour that Motley Crue's doing. And I don't know what'll happen with them in that, but it's so far, Motley Crue's still on that bill. And then for, guitar, he said Satriani and Steve Lukather. And then take it one step. And why would it be Satriani and Lukather, not Satriani and, say, Vai or someone like that? But I digress. And then vocals, he said it would have to be me and Pink. Pink? Where the fuck did Pink come out of there when you have, number one, Sammy Hagar? Number two, if you really want to, I know this is going to twist Paul's nuts in a moment, but Mitch Malloy. And then
Mitch Malloy.
What? Who's with Great White, by the way, with all due respect. And then on top of that, you really should have something you look at that Chickenfoot is already Joe Satriani, Michael Anthony, and Sammy Hagar. So if you're going to do something like that, first of all, I don't stand against this tour, because my thoughts on it are that if the family wants a tribute tour, which apparently Wolfgang was behind it out of the gate, and Alex Van Halen is behind it now, trying to put something together, and it's not bringing new Van Halen and replacing Eddie and all that stuff. It's basically saying, look, let's do a tribute tour. And let's have someone playing Eddie's parts, and let's get some of the old band back together and do some tributes. I think if you're going to do a tour like that, you should have a lot of the best guitarists coming out, laying out a tribute song or two each. You should have Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, Slash. I mean, pick who's who, and just have them do a tribute song each as guitarists filling the gap. While on bass, you should have Wolfie and Michael Anthony alternating. On vocals, you should have Roth and Hagar alternating. Maybe Gary for one song. And Michael Anthony on drum. And Alex Van Halen on drums throughout the whole thing. I mean, I think that would be the appropriate tribute tour. And if Wolfgang is busy doing his own thing, he should at least have Mammoth as the opening act of this tour. He should be involved. He absolutely should be involved. I would love to see.
Mammoth is out playing everywhere. Still
okay,
touring.
but I'm sure as a tribute to the Van Halen legacy, and that's what I would call it, is the Van Halen legacy tour. Because let's not forget, Eddie is gone, but there's still two living members of the family Van Halen. And while this is basically a tribute to Eddie, who obviously greatest guitarist in the world, the heart and soul of Van Halen, the essence of Van Halen, he still leaves behind a legacy of a brother and a son. Okay. And both of them want something done in Eddie's name. And I think really the idea of having an all-star lineup playing with the surviving members of the band in tribute to Eddie, that's what I would want to see. That's what I would travel to see. Because look, let's face facts. You're not going to get Van Halen anymore. Eddie's dead. Eddie's dead. Greatest loss in music history. Eddie's dead. Okay. But if you're going to put together a tribute, maybe donate half the proceeds to Eddie's favorite charity. That would be great. But you're having the whole thing of, you know, Hagar, Roth, Michael Anthony, Alex. I think rotating guitarists in and out as a tribute, my opinion, I would want to see that. That's where I stand. But something is in the works. I don't think a rotating thing of guitarists, but apparently they've got something they're working on right now that they're trying to put together. What do you guys think of that? What are your thoughts?
I'll go first real quick. I talked about this yesterday for like an hour and a half or something.
Well, we'll skip this. Go to yesterday's video.
So, yeah. Watch yesterday's video for my comments on
There
that.
you go.
But did you guys, I don't know if anybody even saw this. I saw this. Did you see Nuno Betancourt commented on this whole thing?
Not yet.
Did you see that?
Nuno, who's
Here.
that? Who's Nuno?
Check
I
this
saw
out.
I saw Newsted, I saw Satriani, and I saw Roth.
Check this out. Nobody else saw this.
What is it?
It's Nuno talking about the entire situation.
Well, Johnny, read it. Read it. Don't make me see it squint.
This was on Instagram.
Some people are driving while they hear this podcast.
Here goes my word count. Nuno Betancourt official said there is only one way to do it right. To do this right, don't do it. Of course. But it's a scarier prospect to think about them doing it and it being an embarrassment. So at the very least, if it's truly paying tribute to Edward, it can only be, I can't even read. It can only be and must be all three original remaining members. Love and respect Wolfie and why his dad wanted him there. But this shit went way too long. Michael is a what's that word?
Your voiceover skills are
Integral?
terrific, John.
Integral.
I know. I've been sick for a week.
All right, where are you?
Integral part of Van Halen.
His voice in those harmonies is a big part of their sound and DNA. His
I
minimalist
agree.
approach to bass and the way he locked in with Alex is what supported Edward's genius and space to shine the way he did. Perfection.
I agree.
Thank you, Dan. But more
Amen.
important than all that, Mike's chemistry, his passion, his smile. Van Halen was a party band, and Mike was the heart of that fun and party. Dave cannot be Dave without his party partner in crime, and we saw that missing since Mike was gone. Shameful and sad, actually, that he never toured with them again. Must have been painful for him, as he is the sweetest dude on the planet, and did not deserve that alienation. Lastly, who plays the part of Edward? Me. Just kidding. Here's the thing. Michael Anthony, I agree, should play everything that Michael Anthony played. And Wolfgang should play the later stuff that Wolfgang played.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Johnny, you have your point? Have you made your point?
That'd be cool. I made it yesterday. I have no problem with it as far as a guitar
Would you
player.
want to see it?
I would see it. I think Satriani would be great doing it, as long as it's Satriani being Satriani and not trying to be Eddie. I don't want to see anybody trying to be Eddie.
Would you only want to see Satriani, or would you want to see a rotation of players?
I wouldn't. I don't know. I mean,
I'd want to see an all-star rotation.
On guitar. It doesn't matter who's on guitar.
I mean, nobody's going to be Eddie, but I'd want to see basically a who's who of guitarists playing in rotation, and I'd want a percentage of it going to Eddie's favorite charity. If we're doing a tribute, let's do a tribute. Because just having Satriani, I think, is just filling in.
Satriani filling in would be great. Steve Vai filling in would be great. Nuno filling in would be great.
Caleb Rappaport.
There's a couple other guys, but
I'd want to see Caleb.
Vic,
No shit. I'd want to see Caleb playing a
is it
song.
Vic Johnson from The Circle? We've seen Vic from The Circle playing a ton of that stuff. And honestly, to me, I'm not like super impressed with his playing. I mean, he does a good enough job, but I'm not super impressed with Vic's playing. So I would rather see Steve Vai go in there and tear that shit up.
I'd want to see everyone that is a who's who tear it up. It's a tribute. It's a tribute, and there's got to be some stakes. There's got to be some charity effect of it, because if you're just going to play a tribute, where's the money going? It's not fair that the money isn't going all to, or a portion of it at least, to Eddie's favorite charity. There's got to be a true tribute to Eddie, and that's a tribute, doing something Eddie would want to happen. I think Eddie would approve of it if there was something where his family was fully involved and everyone that he wanted involved at the end that he couldn't have, did a kitchen sink sort of thing, and that it went to where his heart was, which was those charities. The Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation and anything else that he supported.
Yeah. As long as it's Alex on drums, as long as it's Michael Anthony on bass.
Absolutely.
And having Sam and Dave do, let Dave do the first.
Do their own songs. Whatever. If
minutes,
Sammy sang a song, have Sammy do it. If Dave sang a song, have Dave do it.
Right.
You want to even bring in Gary Sharon for one or two songs, have him do it. But everyone who initially played those songs should play them again. And I would love to see Wolfgang, with his legacy, open up that show.
That'd be cool.
And play bass on the parts for the parts that he did in the later material.
Different kind of Truth album.
Paulie.
All right. So I waited because you're not going to like what I have to say. I'll read you what I wrote on Facebook, and then I will elaborate on it. What I wrote on Facebook was, as so many of my friends know, I'm a pretty massive Van Halen fan. As such, I'm being bombarded with questions regarding this proposed Joe Satriani, Alex Van Halen, David Lee Roth Van Halen tribute. My opinion, Van Halen is over. Any tribute attempt will be criticized and analyzed to the point of it being no fun. And I'd like to see some sort of celebration of his legacy. I just know how the world works today. And no matter who they get, how great they perform, and what magnificence is displayed, somebody will rip it to shreds. Honestly, a box set of previously unreleased music and DVD retrospective of Edward's actual musical creative process and experiences would be much more interesting to me. The live tribute show doesn't seem to be able to pay proper tribute to Edward Van Halen. He was one of a kind and cannot be replicated. I am not interested in a tribute concert at all. And I say that with a whole bunch of detail. First and foremost, stop fucking keeping Wolfgang Van Halen connected to Van Halen. He's not. Wolfgang Van Halen was exactly what I talked about before. He was a hired hand brought in to keep the band together for 3 fucking tours. That's it. No more. He's not part of the Van Halen legacy. Yes, he was part of 1 album and 3 tours, but he's not Van Halen. And he'll say that. Yes, I was a member of Van Halen, but he's not part of this. So stop connecting him to the history of Van Halen. In fact, he has come out and said it. I have no part in the legacy of Van Halen. None. Zero. Van Halen was already a legendary band on the downside of their career when Wolfgang Van Halen was brought in to save the band. I'm glad he was there. But the fact that they pushed Michael Anthony out, the fact that that 1 record with David Lee Roth was all they ever did, and by the way, 3/4 of that record was recorded and written before Wolfgang was a member of the band. He really didn't contribute anything to the legacy of the band, so let's fucking disconnect him from that altogether. Now, that said, Alex Van Halen, David Lee Roth, Michael Anthony, Sammy Hagar are the only people that have a right to an opinion over what's going to happen with Van Halen, whether or not there's a legacy concert or anything like that. I don't believe you can do a tribute to a guy without the fucking guy. He's the guy. Eddie Van Halen was unique and singular. Let the fucking band rest. If you want to pay tribute, take the time and energy and expenditure, get into a production studio, get into 5150, dig through those archives, and give us a fucking kick-ass retrospective collection of music that pays proper tribute to Eddie Van Halen, because he's the guy who played the fucking songs. His music matters. He's the one. Nobody can play it. And like I said, nobody is going to fucking accept this thing as anything more than a cash grab. It's just not gonna work. It doesn't work without Eddie Van Halen. So leave it the fuck alone. Let the band is over. Van Halen is fucking over, and Mammoth and Van Halen are not the same. Wolfgang is not Van Halen. Stop. And by the way, he would probably be thankful for me fucking going on this rant right now, because yes, he was part of the thing and he got to play with his father for a couple of years, and God love him. Thank you, Wolfgang Van Halen, for giving us, 3 fantastic tours of Van Halen music. All right. Or 4 really. Because you got 07, 12, 15, and then of course the live album. So we got a live album, we got a great studio record, which was basically mostly old demos that were recorded back when Michael Anthony was in the band. That's great. So we got a little piece of the Van Halen history. Thank you, Wolfgang Van Halen. God love you. I wish you the best of luck with Mammoth WVH. You are not part of the fucking Van Halen history, and you have no voice in this. I know you're Eddie's son, but that's how many kids can tell your father how to run their business? Come on. Let Wolfgang be Wolfgang. Let Eddie be Eddie. Separate the fucking two. That said, what they did to Michael Anthony is bullshit. And if Alex Van Halen wants to go out and play Van Halen songs with anybody, that's his prerogative. I would hope that if he decides to do it, he brings Michael and Sammy and Dave along. Otherwise, it's not a Van Halen tribute show. I'm not interested in this. I wish they would go in and do what the Hendrix estate has done, although there isn't that much unreleased Hendrix music. They've just repackaged a lot of the old shit. I wish they would go in and they would just give us, you want to pay tribute to Eddie Van Halen, give us some Eddie Van Halen music. Don't waste time on tribute concerts. They don't fucking matter, and people are going to rip them apart Anyway, nobody is Eddie Van Halen. He's dead. I love the man. I love his music. Let him fucking rest. I'm done.
Okay, let me counter you on a couple of things. I'm not actually even counter you. Let me just respond to you on a couple of things. For starters, you mentioned, instead of the concert, do a studio, thing, some unreleased music and blah, blah, blah. For starters, why not both? You can do both. And I'll tell you, first of all, they already will one day, when they take the time, do a studio thing with unreleased songs and whatever. They will get to that. But a tribute is literally after someone either retires or dies. It's their peers. This is the definition of tribute. It's their peers coming together and playing their songs in tribute to that person. In this case, Eddie passed. Make no mistake, if someone came on stage like Satriani and was the only guitar player and tried to be Eddie in a version of Van Halen, I would totally agree with you that people would rip it to shreds. You're not Eddie, but it's like after Randy Rhoads died, after him, he's trying to be Randy Rhoads, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? At NAMM, every year, there is a Randy Rhoads tribute show. 2 years ago, there was a Ronnie Montrose tribute show, and there have been other tribute shows. Basically, someone not with us that we want to pay tribute to. And in this case, I think Eddie would agree with that because it's his family member, his brother, another founding member of Van Halen pushing for this. And if the money went partly to charity, something Eddie cared about, I think absolutely Eddie would be happy with this. Now, as far as who's playing, I agree with you that Alex, Dave, Michael Anthony absolutely should be the core. I also feel Sammy should be in that mix as the 4 deciding factors there. Now, as far as Wolfie goes, he was there for one album. I think he should play on that. Johnny, don't take a phone call now. Not yet.
He wants to play. Let him play.
No. Hold on, Dane. On that moment, on the idea of what album Wolfie played on. That's the only place I'd want to see him, other than as an opening act, as Eddie's biological heir, that Eddie was proud of Wolfgang's music. Not Wolfgang playing Van Halen music, but Wolfgang playing his own music as the opening act of that tour. I think Eddie would be beaming with pride to see, and that's what he would want. And like I said, as far as the Van Halen tribute show itself, Wolfie should play on any Van Halen songs from the album he was playing bass on, and that's it. Now, Michael Anthony, we both agree, Paulie, was fucked. But I think if we do rotating guitarists, all paying proper tribute, not trying to be Eddie, but playing tribute to their icon, someone they admired, that's a tribute. That's a true tribute show. And I think Eddie would be behind it for all those reasons. And I think the fans seeing rotating guitarists each playing their versions of Eddie's songs with multiple guitarists, not trying to be Eddie, but paying tribute to him, I think that would be a really good show with the rest of Van Halen backing up that rotation of guitarists. I think that would be, for a number of reasons, a really good thing to see. And I hope it happens.
Because I think all it's going to do is remind people of how great Eddie Van Halen was and how none of these guys can hold his jock.
That's what you want to do, though, at a tribute.
No,
but that's
no,
all
I don't.
You can do.
That's not how the world works today. That's not how the world works today. It's gonna...
fear that you're going to get negative comments. Don't do something because I'm afraid. Let's not do that.
We're all playing homage to him. No one's trying to replace him. No one's trying to replace him. We know we can't replace him. But just like the road shows, just like the yearly Randy Rhoads tributes.
By the way, let me ask you this question: the yearly Randy Rhoads tributes that go on, how many people attend those?
It's a full house, but I mean, it's a full house of people.
Where's it held?
It's a theater. It's a theater at NAMM.
Right.
What is it? House of Blues or
it's a club show. Randy Rhoads.
No, that's a theater. Come on. That's all right.
So 2,500 people?
Something like that.
Hey, when Ozzy tours, Ozzy tours, it's a tribute to Randy Rhoads. Every time he plays Crazy Train, every time he gets Zakk Wylde to do Crazy Train, that's a tribute to Randy right there.
No,
that's different. That's different, Dan. A tribute is literally saying, hey, I'm Steve Vai. We all miss Eddie. Here's me, playing one of his songs. We love you, Eddie. And, I'm hoping to do one of your songs justice. And that's a tribute. I mean, there's tributes to so many artists. Aretha Franklin had a tribute. No one's singing Aretha Franklin like her, but they're all giving their version in tribute, in an honor to honor that person.
Name one tribute version of any song that anybody cares about.
I think it would be
but it's not a recording thing. It's a tribute show.
I still think has Ozzy Osbourne ever gone out on stage and said, look, we can't do anything that Randy Rhoads ever played, even though he was the greatest guitar player.
Actually, he did. Actually, his very first tour after Randy Rhoads died, he did that.
Okay, so
but that may have also been Sharon basically saying, "Well, we want to push the new music." That may have been Sharon.
No, he did an entire tour of Black Sabbath. That was the Brad Gillis tour.
Okay,
he did all Black Sabbath music. He walked away from the whole Randy Rhoads thing and separated himself from the two. Look, if it happens, it happens. It's great. I believe that. Yeah, but see, KXM Rock mentions Metal Allegiance playing Dio. I don't care. The Last in Line, I don't care. None of those tribute bands is any fucking good. None of them. I mean, we even talk about, people argue now about Journey, right? Oh, Journey sucks without Steve Perry, or certain bands.
It's not a tribute show to Steve Perry.
It is, but it is though. Because it's another guy singing Steve Perry's music, and all people can do is say he's not as good as Steve Perry.
Steve Perry is alive, and it's not a tribute to Steve Perry. It's the band going on with a different singer. This is totally different. This is a tour specifically honoring Eddie with the family there as the family request.
I don't give a shit if the family's requested. Oh, that's fine. That's great if they want to do it. But it's about the product. Who gives a shit? You know, parents all around the world they think their kids are going to be fucking Major League Baseball players and take them to Diamonds on Saturdays, and none of them are going to fucking mean shit. Family intentions are nice, but Edward Van Halen, there's a legacy there. There's a legacy there that must be met, and if you can't meet that legacy, don't fucking do it.
No one's going to meet the legacy of the greatest guitar player ever. No one's up to that level. The fact is, you're paying tribute. You're honoring him. You're paying tribute. You're thanking him. That's basically it. That's all you can do.
Of all of the bands that still go out there,
it's not a cash grab.
I don't see any reason for. I would think proper tribute to Edward Van Halen doesn't have to be in a live environment. Proper tribute to Edward Van Halen is putting together a piece of product that celebrates Edward Van Halen, not a guy playing Edward Van Halen songs, not a guy playing a striped guitar and tapping, not people getting up talking about what he means to them as a guitar player. I'm talking about if the guys from Van Halen want to pay proper tribute to Eddie, Alex, Michael, Sammy, Dave, and if Wolfgang wants to be part of the process as well, and if they feel like he should be allowed in the room, by all means, have him in. Get into 5150, grab those fucking tapes, assemble a record of unreleased music. That is a tribute to Edward Van Halen.
You can do
the other
both.
Stuff is
you
just
can honor. You can
I don't
release unreleased music. You can still release unreleased music if they want to, but it's a tribute means someone else is playing their stuff. That's the idea of a tribute. That's what a tribute is.
I have no interest. And look, again, I'm not saying it shouldn't happen. I'm just saying I have no interest in it. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Van Halen is what you do with
Van
the
Halen
cash.
is over.
They haven't announced what they do with the cash. If it's going to part of Eddie's charities, I think that's fair. And listen, I don't have a problem seeing Michael Anthony get paid, of all people. But the fact is, I think they should and would do something about where the cash went if it's truly a tribute. I really do. And I think the fans want to see something like that.
Idea to do it. It's a good idea to do it. I mean, these people are still alive. Go out there and do it. When John Entwistle died, they went out, they played, they kept playing, they would do tours, they had the big giant screen, John Entwistle just ripping on bass, and that shit brought tears to your eyes when you were watching that.
John BL brings up a great point. What about the huge... John BL brings up a great point. What about the huge Freddie Mercury tribute show? 100,000 fans at Wembley Stadium, tribute, honoring the legacy, celebrating the artist. That's what a tribute is.
What about when the Van Zandt guy died and Leonard Skinner and they played Freebird with no lead singer at all, and the Spotlight guy went over and pointed the spotlight where Van Zandt should have been standing, and everybody was just in tears because it was the freaking greatest tribute on earth. To not do it, I think, is, give the fans something.
I would love to see every guitarist that took an influence. I would love to see every guitarist major guitarist that took an influence from Eddie give a tribute song to Eddie. And I wouldn't mind seeing it as a live album either, to be honest.
Michael Anthony
I wouldn't mind seeing that either.
Michael loves being on stage. Sammy loves being on stage. Roth, health permitting, loves being on stage. Alex, I don't know if he loves
Chief
being
Campbell
a drummer
also,
anymore.
Freddie Mercury tribute.
Let them do it if they want to do it. It's all for fun. Doesn't matter if they're good or if they suck.
No one's going to suck. No one's going to suck. You're going to have all of Van Halen with guest guitarists. That's what I think should happen.
Get Phil X up there, and
Johnny, let's take calls and see who thinks what.
Do you see Phil X with Bon Jovi recently?
Hold on, I want to see who's calling in, because Johnny's phone's been ringing off the hook.
Hello, who is this?
Hey, it's Kurt with a C.
Hey,
Shocking.
Kurt with a C.
Hey.
Is that you that's been calling my number?
I had to chime in. It's a great discussion, and I don't usually agree with Paul, but I am full tilt in the Paul camp.
Hang up.
Whoa.
Just hang up.
Click. Kurt, you know you're early, right?
Hang up.
It's like his rant. If I ran a lot, his rant that he did about 5, 6, 7 minutes ago, it was perfect. It's like we love Van Halen and stuff, but it's like just leave it alone. And he says shit that people probably get mad at him for, and that's my life. But it's just that's real. What he said is real, and the Wolfgang thing is real. He wasn't disrespecting Eddie's kid.
Nope.
It's fact, and it's just like let it go. Release some unreleased music or something or whatever. But it's just don't stomp on it.
Yep.
Don't shit on his memory.
Steve Vai is not going to shit on
I'm
his
out.
memory.
Good show, though.
Joe
Thank you,
Satriani
Kurt.
is not going to shit on his memory.
Here's the thing.
Thank you, Kurt.
There's nothing anybody can do at this show that will end up good. It's going to end up, yes, these are going to be great guitar players and they're going to get up and they're going to play, but they're playing Eddie shit and everybody is going to be like, well, he didn't play it as good as Eddie, or it was kind of cool and that was great. But there's no way what they do, this paying tribute, is going to have a moment. You're not going to have a George Michael moment like you did with Freddie Mercury. You're not going to have an extreme
How do you
moment,
know?
by the way, because you're not. Because you're
How do you
just not.
know?
Because it's guitar and not a singer. It's different.
It's
Guitar is not a fucking voice. It's not the same. Guitar is a finite instrument, and there's only so much you can do with it. The voice is a human element, and when somebody like George Michael killed at the Freddie Mercury tribute, it's because there was a personal, emotional moment. You don't get that from guitar. As much as I love guitar, and as much as I feel guitar from amazing players like Knopfler and Gilmour and Eddie, you're not going to get the. It's just not.
You're going to have the singers there too.
It's
remember,
not, but who cares? The singers. David Lee Roth is over the hill. Sammy Hagar is over the hill. Gary Sharon was a non-fucking factor. Who else do we care about that's going to sing Van Halen music?
I'd still rather see those guys pay tribute. Everyone, when Eddie died,
but it's not though.
Everyone and their mother was saying, we have to pay tribute to Eddie. We have to pay tribute. There's got to be a tribute concert. There's got to be some event. Everyone was saying that in their mother. And now it's like back and forth. It's like a split screen of some people like, oh, he's going to ruin Eddie. It's not someone substituting for Eddie as a regular band. It's basically a tribute tour. It's a legacy tour. That's basically what it is.
There's never been a tribute to any instrumental player that has ever mattered. Never.
I disagree. Randy Rhoads.
What about the
every year?
What about the Plant Jimmy Page thing?
What about
they did 15 years ago? That was super impressive.
Because it was the creative force behind the music. Eddie Van Halen is the creative force behind the music. You can't. It's like having a car with no engine in it.
But you're not
Eddie
trying
Van
to replace
Halen,
someone. You're paying tribute.
Yes, you are.
A tribute.
But it's here's the thing. It's like playing a tribute to somebody. You might as well get fucking 10 guys there that's never picked up a guitar before and let them try to play Van Halen. That's a tribute too, but that doesn't make it good.
That's not
sure. It is.
You're gonna have the best. You can have the best players out there, basically rounding out what's left of Van Halen, which is
still not going to be good enough. Here's the thing, though. But
what are you, Chef Ramsay? It's not good enough.
It's going to be good enough for me. It's going to be good enough for me. I would love it. I want to hear Dave and Michael sing together.
I do too.
You know,
so would a lot of people.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's see who this is.
That's the thing is, I'm not interested. I'm super. And by the way, that's fine. That's one spot that you, Dane, or you, John, or anybody in the chat can take. I would rather get unreleased music. I know you say, why can't you have both? Don't waste my fucking time. Don't waste my time.
If I could be out at a concert venue tonight, like out at the Pavilion, sitting in the grass with a giant freaking beer in my hand instead of soda, listening to the Van Halen tribute with Roth out there, with Sammy Hagar, with freaking Michael Anthony singing. You got your beer, you're sitting in the grass. That'd be one of the greatest nights of my life.
Except
again.
Except you want David Lee Roth from 1985, and you want Sammy Hagar from 1991, and you want.
Accept
But
who
we
they
know we're
are.
not
No,
gonna
you
get
can't.
that.
No,
We know
you
we're not
fucking
gonna
Yes,
can't
I
because
can.
because we
But we know
because
we're
we
not gonna
all
get
ripped
that.
we all ripped Eddie fucking Van Halen apart in 1998. And we all ripped Eddie Van Halen apart in 2004 when Eddie Van Halen was on stage playing Eddie Van Halen's fucking music. There's no way that anyone else can get up there and do what Eddie did and not have it fucking be a disappointment. I'm not saying
You're
it shouldn't
never
happen.
It's not supposed to be Eddie, though. It's tributes to Eddie.
Why
I would
pay
love
tribute
to see
to something
I
if
would
you
love
can't
to see
fucking do
Caleb
it?
Rappaport and Joshua Jones come on stage and do their versions, their tributes to people that influenced them. I would love to see Steve Vai and Satriani do that. I would love to see Slash and Nuno do that. I would love to see these people come on and give a tribute song to Eddie. And I would love it to go to charity and something that everyone can be proud of, that they're
honestly,
basically saying thank you. It's a thank you concert to Eddie. It's not
honestly
supposed to be
tell me
Eddie.
that
have
Joe
at least-
Satriani can't play those songs note for note, just freaking perfectly with his own beautiful style that he has.
Just
Tell me
because
that
It's
you
not
can
about
play
play,
the
it's not about playing it note for note. You can play a Van Halen song,
But if it
and
was
not
playing
be
it note
Ed-
for
and
note,
not-
he
hold on.
could do it. He could do
But
it. Those guys can
But
do
Dane,
it.
it's not that you can't play Eddie's song note for note. It's that you won't have Eddie's soul playing that song the way Eddie does, and that's expected. It'll sound like Steve Vai playing Eddie. It'll sound like Satriani playing Eddie. But you know what? I'd still rather these people get a chance to say thank you and pay that tribute and give something to the fans and give something back to the family and give something to charity. I would rather see that than not see anything at all. It's like not singing happy birthday.
Basically, I would go and support that show.
I would
I
support
went and
that
saw
show too.
Wolfgang. I had got a free ticket to it, but I went and I supported Wolfgang.
And
here
again,
15
back up,
months ago,
just again,
and
reiterating
I
on the
would support
Wolfgang
that
thing.
show, and I
I
think
don't
there's a
want
million
to be-
guys that would support
Reiterating
that
on the
show.
Wolfgang thing, reiterating on the Wolfgang thing, I only want to see Wolfgang as the opening act doing his own music because Eddie was so proud of him. That's part of the legacy. It's not part of Wolfie taking Michael Anthony's place. I don't want to see that. I want to see Michael Anthony doing Michael Anthony's part.
Exactly.
But I want to see Wolfie as the opening act for that because that would have made Eddie happy. Money going to charity would make Eddie happy. Seeing the gang together one last time, I think would make Eddie happy. And hearing people that appreciated him and were influenced him, I think would make Eddie happy as well, in tribute to him.
Let me ask you guys this. Is there a
Thank you,
guitar player that Eddie admired? Who do you know?
Steve
From all
Lukather.
the stories we know, is there a guitar player? The Eddie Van Halen, did
few
he
of
used to compliment certain people? Is there a
Steve
certain
Lukather, Eric
Randy
Clapton,
Rhoads.
Alan Holdsworth.
Yeah, Eddie had his influences. Everyone has their influences.
Name one guitar player on the Van Halen tribute. Little Guitars, a tribute to Van Halen.
Say one more time.
I said name one guitar player on the album, the Van Halen tribute album, Little Guitars.
I've never heard that album.
Exactly, because it's already been done. It was done 20 years ago.
Yeah, nobody bought that.
There's been a
Really quickly.
That's
real
the
quick.
point. There's been tribute
Well,
albums
Zeke.
to Van Halen. There's been tribute attempts.
Hold on. Let
address what
Zeke
these
talk.
guys are talking about real fast. I think Paul's absolutely right about the box set stuff. Everybody wants to see unreleased stuff, but my bigger issue is I would rather see one or two shows. You do one big show at the Hollywood Bowl or someplace like that for a large audience. Then you do a second smaller show at like the Whiskey just to commemorate the band's early history, and you call it a day. If you're going to have like a big tour, my biggest fear is, like I mentioned yesterday, that you end up with a permanent tribute band if it makes money. And, you know, if you're a true Van Halen fan, you just don't want to see that. So to me, one or two shows, a bunch of unreleased stuff, like Paul said, and that's it. Call it a day. And that's just my 2 cents on it. Talk to you later. Bye.
I'm good with that.
Bye-bye,
I'm
Boozy.
good with one or two shows.
I-
I'm good with one show.
I wouldn't have a problem if there was like a big event show, something that like was videoed and broadcast and like a live album came out of that. I would not be unhappy with that at all. I just want to see a tribute to Eddie. I think he's deserving of anybody of a tribute. One
That's
show
all
would be
we're asking
fine by
for
me.
is
I'd
one
be all
show.
right with that. I'd be
That's all
okay
we're
with it.
asking for,
I want
one
to
big
see
show.
something. Lesser artists have had tribute shows. I want to see something for Eddie Van Halen.
Changing some colors tonight.
Thank you, Symmetry.
Thank you, Symmetry. I want to see some form of tribute for Eddie Van Halen. And like I said, I agree with you, Paulie, that you know, music should be released, but that's not a tribute. That's a
Yes, it is.
release of
Yes, it
more-
is.
But-
no. That's a release of more. There's no who's paying tribute. You're seeing
The
Eddie.
living
That's
members,
Eddie's stuff.
the living members of the band are unearthing the music and creative
That's not a
output.
tribute.
Yes, it is. It's absolutely a tribute. It's honoring,
It's
just
not a
like a
tribute.
statue is a tribute. It's absolutely a tribute.
But that's work he already did that we just haven't seen it yet.
Right. And what better way to pay honor, to honor a man, than by giving us something, a gift of his music, him. If I get something from
That's him
Edward Van
honoring
Halen-
himself. It's his music. That
He's
he did.
fucking dead. He's not honoring anybody. His family, the remaining members of the band, are putting out something that is his music. Look, the tribute. If the tribute concert happens, great. I'm not interested, and that's fine. It's okay that you want to see it, and I don't. More power to you. I don't want to tarnish the legacy of Van Halen. I saw Eddie Van Halen at his best, and I saw Eddie Van Halen at his worst. And I have my image of what Van Halen means to me. And I don't believe anyone, no tribute band, no great guitar player, be it Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Steve Lukather, Nuno Bettencourt, Dweezil Zappa, fucking Vito Bratta, whatever guitar player you can name. I don't want to see those guys. Sure, Paul Gilbert.
I was looking at Johnny.
I don't want to see any of those guys. I don't want to see any of those guys trying to play Van Halen or pay tribute to Van Halen. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. You know, what I thought was interesting, what I thought was great at the Les Paul tribute, it was called He Changed the Music. It was a Les Paul tribute. At the Les Paul tribute, nobody played Les Paul music. Nobody tried to play like Les Paul. They came up and they did their thing and talked about how Les Paul changed their life. That's a different story. That's a different thing. If Satriani were to get up with his band and say, and they had a big picture of Eddie behind him and said, look, Eddie Van Halen does this, blah, blah, blah. And this is what Eddie Van Halen means to me and what it means to my playing. And here's one of my songs that wouldn't be what it is if it weren't for Van Halen. That I'm okay with, to be honest, because that's a tribute.
I wouldn't want. No, it's a tribute.
See,
is playing that person's music.
No,
sure
it's not.
It is.
Nope, it's a cover
So
band.
you're telling me you would have been happy at the Queen tribute if I would have come up and said, you know, Freddie Mercury was terrific, and I started going Flash, you know, I mean,
no. If you had written a song that was influenced by Queen, that Freddie Mercury was responsible for the way you are as a vocalist today, yes, I would have respected that.
No one wants to take responsibility for me the way I am as a vocalist.
But yet it worked for Les Paul. And it worked for J.J. Cale. And it works.
You know what? Randy Rhoads
Les Paul
tributes,
wasn't known for
they
his
play Randy
music.
songs, and in Freddie Mercury they played Freddie Mercury songs. And the fact is, just everyone wants to hear them. You're paying tribute to the songs, the music that he left us.
That's
Most
cool.
people don't even
I don't
realize
wanna-
that Les Paul made music.
Blue Rhino is a huge
did?
influence on who I am.
Yeah. Les Paul had albums out. What?
Listen, if
No,
you were
that's
doing
funny.
listen, Mama Kuda was a huge influence on who I am, and you know I don't want to hear her sing Flash.
I'm okay, Chris Bevan. I'm okay if you think I'm wrong. That's the beautiful thing about this.
Jim Callahan.
That's the
And there's
beautiful
no
thing
right
about
or
this.
wrong. There's no right
No,
or wrong, Paulie.
no, it's
This
just
is
an
your
opinion.
opinion and my opinion. It's
Yeah,
just,
it's just an opinion. I don't give a shit if you
okay to
agree or
different
disagree.
opinions. We can agree to disagree. That's okay.
Yeah.
The rest
Yeah,
of the rest of the country should follow this lead. We
Here's
can
the
agree to
bottom line.
disagree and still be friends.
Here's the bottom line for the way I look at it as a huge Van Halen fan that has probably seen them live like probably 6 times. I don't care what they give us. I just want them to give us something. Give us the old tapes that you can dig up that are in, 5150 studio, or even the stuff from Sunset Sound. Give us
that's
all of it.
Give us,
But that-
give it, pour it on. Have
that's a
somebody
beautiful-
go in there and mix it really well and give it to us.
That's
That'd be
really
great.
funny that you say that, Dane, because when A Different Kind of Truth came out, the big slam on it was that it was old songs.
I didn't
That was
slam
what-
on that record at all. I went and
A
bought that
lot
thing the very first day it came out.
lot of people did that. A lot of people bitched. They said, "Okay, wait a second. We waited since 1984 for David Lee Roth to come back, and they gave us 40-year-old demos. What the fuck? What a jip? What a problem." That was the criticism of that.
But
People don't realize that happens. Bands do that all the time. And so on the one hand, yes, I agree with you. I love when Led Zeppelin re-releases a record and there's some bonus tracks on it. I love when we
Sure.
get an anthology from a band and we get unreleased music. To me, that's enjoyable. But to a lot of people, it's fuck that, man. They're just rehashing their old shit. So you can't win. And that was what my original statement on Facebook said. Knowing the way the world works today, this is a no-win scenario. So the only win, going back to what Nuno Betancourt said, is don't do it.
I think it's
If
a
you
huge
don't- if you
dishonor.
don't do
I
it-
think it's a huge dishonor.
It's not
to
a
not do
dishonor.
anything.
There's
Okay,
no
okay, but how did
there's
he
no
sum up
dishonor.
his whole paragraph? How did he sum up his whole paragraph? Oh, by the way, if you do pick somebody to do it, let it be me. Ha 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 ha.
No,
actually,
but you know what? He
there's
did
a whole
say
second
if
part of
you're
that you
gonna
didn't even read yet.
He did say if you're gonna do that, then Michael Anthony should be there, and Dave
I
should be
agree.
there, and Alex should be there. I
Okay, let's
agree.
read Nuno's second paragraph then.
There's the second
There's
part.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More? Jesus Christ.
I'll read it. No one or everyone. Yes, everyone, meaning none of us in our wildest dreams can recreate Eddie's touch, period. The elite guitarists in his lane and genre all come together with the original cast of 3 to pay tribute to Eddie on 4 songs each, the way he touched us, the way he influenced us, and the way he changed the game and the world. And as a community of guitarists, we do a tour that is a celebration of EVH, throw him the biggest party and tribute in the history of rock and roll across all cities and arenas and fans he touched. With all the catalog done and the way it should be done, with his band and who started with him. That's my idea, and I'm sticking to it. Now, I know this won't happen. Hell, I probably won't be even invited. Gary doing an album with them probably fucked that up for me, but I can dream, can't I?
See, and that's where I agree.
But it's a
great
dream.
That's a
I
great
agree with
dream.
Nuno. I dare to dream. I dare to dream. Because a lot of dreams have come true, boys and girls. You know what? You know it was a dream? Dave playing with Van Halen ever again. And it happened.
Why
It
do you
sure
think
did.
Nuno thinks that Gary messed that up for him?
Because Gary
It's a
did.
joke.
mess
It's a
up.
joke. It's a
Death by
joke.
association.
Horrible. That was the
It's-
joke.
It's a joke. Everybody that knows Gary gives him shit about that. I've done it. Nuno does it. Everyone does it. They always say that Gary fucked up Van Halen. It's a big joke. Everybody knows Gary didn't do anything wrong. Gary was a hired gun who was brought in and told to do the best he could with what he had to work with. And what he had to work with was Eddie Van Halen at his absolute unhealthiest. And that's unfortunate that he is the guy that gets scapegoated for a subpar record. But that's sort of the way life is. And Gary rolls with it the best he can. And everybody jokes about it. And Gary gets it. Gary knows he didn't do anything wrong.
I mean, look, I think Dave and Sammy both have a right to be vocalists on that. You know, I understand it started with Dave, but Sammy also left a huge Van Halen legacy. So it should actually be the 4 of them, Dave and Sammy, rotating singing chores, of course.
What is the latest news on Roth canceling his whole retirement thing up in Vegas and all those shows that was supposed to happen over the New Year? Any new news on why that all just went away?
He said the reason for it was locked in a safe. I don't know if it was health or boredom or just, disappointment or, poor sales or whatever it was.
He said it was
He's
COVID.
got something written down in a safe. But I'm sure if this
Well,
Halen tribute comes out, he's coming on. He's into
But
it.
Even if you believe the nonsense that the VH news desk posted yesterday about his quote, and I don't mean that they're nonsensical. I didn't think it was great that they got that information and they got it out there. But Dave, being Dave, speaking in nonsensical terms, even if you believe what he said, read into that. The reason why they needed two people to do it, and he says it because of health reasons. Dave is basically saying he's not healthy enough to pull it off.
But he asked for two people on each shore, two drummers, two bass players, two guitarists.
Sure. I
think
imagine
there should be more than two guitarists. But even as vocalist, it's like, why didn't he name Sammy? Why Pink? Are you guys still, bitter about all that shit?
No, he's just being Dave. Dave is Dave, trying to speak in colorful terms, and he doesn't think when he opens his mouth a lot of the time. That's just Dave. It's Dave being Dave.
And why would you bring up like Tommy Lee as the drummer? Why would you bring up
that's just some dude dreaming.
That's just Dave being
Newsted,
Dave.
Where did Jason Newsted get involved in this?
Jason
How in the world
hardly plays anymore.
What?
Jason hardly plays anything anymore.
But I just don't understand how he even got asked. Nothing against Jason. He's a great bass player. But I'm saying, how come he's associated as one of the first people asked? Why is this not about Michael Anthony more than anything in the bass camp? Why would Jason Newsted be even asked?
Look, I think that the good news that can be taken from all of this, if there is any truth to these discussions, is that Alex Van Halen is getting an itch to play. I think that's a good thing. I think that's absolutely a good thing.
And Wolfie approved from day one, whether he's involved or not. He approved of the tribute to his dad.
Yeah, no, I think that anything that Alex, anytime, because I have always been, and I think I've said this on this show and on the Saturday show, I believe that Alex was truly the secret ingredient in Van Halen, that he was the engine that made it work. I mean, Eddie played to Alex in every facet of his life. Alex was the big brother. He was the father figure. He was the guy that really was, I mean, there was that more father-son connection with Alex because they both went through some really fucked up shit in their childhood together. And I think, as I've said before, if Alex is in the groove on the record, it's a fucking great record. If Alex is not in the groove, and that's rare that that's the case, but I'm talking about things like the Simmons drums and some of the production values and stuff. But you can tell when he's got his swing going, Van Halen is fucking awesome.
Absolutely.
And I think that Alex is the secret sauce. And so for him to finally, after a year and a half, saying to himself, okay, I've reconciled the death of my brother and best friend and musical partner for my entire adult life, I'd like to get out behind the kid again. I think that's a good thing. I think the only parallel we can make with that, and it's certainly different circumstances, but is when Vinnie Paul decided, hey, I'm going to get out and I'm going to play for Hell Yeah again. I'm going to get out and get behind the drums. And I think the drum work that he did in Hell Yeah, although different than what he did in Pantera, was still great to hear Vinnie Paul play again. And I think anything that brings Alex Van Halen out of the woodwork to get behind the drums, I think anything that involves Alex Van Halen musically is a good thing. It makes music better.
Right.
He never gets the credit he deserves for being as good as he is.
Touching really quick in something in the chat. Yeah. Let's see. Bozique said, because they asked him because Alex and Roth likely don't want Mikey there, which I think is wrong. This is a time to freaking put aside differences for sure, because he was going to be in the Kitchen Sink tour anyway, so I don't know what that's about. And AI Gaming is asking, what's the kid's name? Big curly hair, played Van Halen really great. That's Joshua Jones, who's amazing.
Josh is a fantastic guitar player.
Yeah. Josh and Caleb, I think, are the two best guys that can play.
Charlie Stinchcomb is pretty fucking good too.
I'd have to see him.
Liquid Charlie.
Not familiar with it. Send me a link. Somebody send me a link. I'm not familiar with it.
Somebody put a link of Liquid Charlie out.
Right now, Phil X, that's with Bon Jovi right now, took an SG and painted it with the red stripes and made a Stripe Series SG. And that dude does YouTube videos all the time playing Van Halen stuff. He's killer.
Copy that. At the end of the day, look, it's the family driving this, and I don't know what's going to happen. Clearly, something's brewing. Okay,
Alex is the guy.
Okay.
If Alex is to me is the linchpin,
and rightfully he should be.
Absolutely, he's the guy. He controls the legacy.
He's the brother.
he controls the legacy of the band as far as I'm concerned. Dave and Sammy, it's nice that they're there. It's nice that they were the singers, and Michael too. You know, I think that all of those four guys matter. But if Alex isn't on board and Alex doesn't make the call, then it shouldn't happen.
I
Anything involving Van Halen that doesn't involve Alex Van Halen is bullshit, in my opinion.
I agree completely, and I'm glad that at this point it is Alex driving this project.
Agreed.
I do want to see Michael Anthony, because you're talking about secret sauce. That voice,
sure,
those vocals are a huge part of the legacy.
No doubt about it.
Let me ask you guys this.
Bruce, hold on, Dane. Bruce points out, wants to know, what is today's show and tell guitar hint? Let's see. We saw a blue hippo emoji earlier. I have blue rhino. This is another blue animal. There you go. There's your guitar hint today.
It's a blue animal.
Go ahead, Dane. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Okay. If somebody was to go through the vault of Van Halen old tapes and all the reel-to-reels and stuff,
which they said they would over a couple of years.
Who exactly are those people that would do it? Is Don Landee,
Wolfie and Alex? Wolfie and Alex.
Alex, I would assume Matt Bruck.
The people at Sound City Music, or Don Landee, their engineer, or Ted Templeman, or who exactly would these people be that would get those tapes rounded up, put them on the reel-to-reel?
I would say
basically Wolfie and Alex control the estate, and you would have them bring in someone that, you know, would know, hey, this is good. We can work with this. We can cobble this together, et cetera, et cetera.
I'd say Alex and Matt are probably the two primary guys. Johnny, your thought?
Mm-hmm. I would think Matt Bruck, Wolfgang, Alex, and then like any previous engineers that actually worked on the stuff.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, you're talking. I mean, you know, the Don Landees, the Ted Templemans, those guys.
Ted Templeman, for sure.
But I'd say that Matt is probably the longest serving guy who would be the most familiar and intimate with that stuff, because he was there for most of it, and you know, was basically Eddie's right hand man, his third set of hands.
Is Ted Templeman still alive, and would he even care, or is he so old now where he wouldn't even care?
I don't know. I don't know that he has. You know, he's for hire. I mean, he's not part of the corporation.
Caring.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. He's a businessman. And Kurt 5150 brings up a good point, which is why I support Wolfgang being separated from the Van Halen legacy as soon and as far as humanly fucking possible, because he's tired of this shit. As I said, I think it was 2 years ago when they talked about the Mammoth record coming out, I said Wolfgang doesn't have a fucking chance, because Van Halen fans will never let him be Wolfgang Van Halen, the individual. They will always try to put him under the umbrella of Van Halen, and he's not. He's not Eddie Van Halen. He's not Alex Van Halen. He's not fucking Van Halen. He's the bass player that got to sit in, and he's Eddie's kid, and it's great. But he's not fucking Van Halen. Leave him to be himself. And as Kurt 5150 put, Wolfgang's done with us. As Van Halen fans, he doesn't want to hear it.
And why would he go out on the road with Guns N' Roses just like, what was that, 6 months ago?
For his band. He played his band.
Look, he wants to be respected as the musician he is.
No, it's an audience of rock fans.
He just doesn't want to be compared to not being Eddie with the tapping and that style of
Van
stuff.
Halen fans put him through hell all day long on social media.
It's so unfair to him.
All they do is beat him up.
It's unfair to Wolfgang Van Halen to be the son of Eddie Van Halen.
So why is he even going out on the road with a band of a bunch of 60-year-olds?
Because he's in a rock band.
That's his band.
Then
That's
you go
his
out
band.
on
That's
the
his
road
music.
with freaking Fall Out Boy or something.
He's on the road
That's
with
his
Be
music.
Honey right now.
Oh,
He's going out with who's
Why
hot,
did Van
who's
Halen go
popular.
with Black Sabbath in 1978?
He's trying to distance himself from all the old guys.
Nah, look, he just doesn't want to be harassed. He doesn't
want
want to be harassed, and rightfully so. He doesn't want to be compared to, why aren't you tapping like Eddie? He doesn't want to be asked about, why you take Michael Anthony's place. He doesn't want to be, compared about, things about his mother and Eddie. He doesn't want to, he doesn't want that kind of stuff. That's what he's talking about. And
If you're
Speaking
you're in a
of
rock
love,
band,
the great Jay Haddon of the band Gizmachi is in the audience right now.
if you're in a rock band and one of the biggest rock bands on the fucking planet gives you an opportunity to be in front of 30,000 people a night, that's good business. That's good business. That's why Van Halen went on the road.
Good business that's good business in front of a bunch of old Van Halen, 50 or 60-year-old Van Halen fans.
There is absolutely no correlation between the Guns N' Roses fan and the Van Halen fan, other than the fact that they're both rock bands and rock fans might potentially like both bands. If Wolfgang Van Halen went out on the road with Sammy Hagar in the Circle, or if Wolfgang Van Halen went out on the road with Chickenfoot, yes, I could see that connection. But Mammoth, WVA, and he's never played a Van Halen song. And you went and saw him, right?
I did.
Did he do this at all?
Yeah,
on the
a
show?
little bit.
He does
right.
do some of that.
He does.
All right.
He probably should.
All right.
But the one cover
should.
that he
But you know
played
what?
was-
Whatever he does, it's his own
Now it's the
shtick.
Chains
Whatever-
tune.
But
I didn't see that coming either, Paulie.
Yeah, I thought maybe he would. If
I didn't think
Wolfgang,
he would either.
if you're watching the show, stop that.
No, they need to go out on the road, and they need to
Just stop
at
it.
least get in and open up for a '90s band. I could see him opening up for
Dirty Honey.
Dirty Honey's a bunch of new guys, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah.
I would say if they want to
But
open
it's
up
like
for
retro.
a huge freaking band, it wouldn't be Guns N' Roses. It would be Pearl Jam or something. A '90s band.
They're still a rock band, though. Fuck Pearl
It's
Jam.
still a rock
They're
band,
s-
yeah. And
they're
by the way,
still a rock
Van
band.
Halen fans
Good
are
rock
Pearl
band.
Jam fans too.
Some of us.
Right, Jay?
By the way,
both.
123 people. I should be seeing 123 likes on that video. Please smash the like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. We appreciate you. Thank you. There you go.
Yeah, I think that any rock band that gets an opportunity to be out in front of 20,000 people on their first tour, you take that. You take that opportunity. That's why Van Halen went out.
Absolutely.
That's why Van Halen went out with Black Sabbath. That's why, Alice in Chains, opened up for Van Halen. It's why so many bands. It's why Guns N' Roses opened up for Aerosmith.
I know, but
And
Van
Guns N'
Halen-
Roses asked Wolfgang to.
They asked-
Right.
He didn't
right.
ask them.
right. But
Right,
Van
Paul
Halen
Slug?
went out with,
Yeah.
in 1977, 78. They went out on the road with Black Sabbath, whose first album was 1970. So that's only 7 years apart. It's not 40 years apart.
Drew SGS says for Guns N' Roses, Mammoth was just the opening act. Just the opening act for Guns N' fucking Roses.
Yeah.
I want to be the opening act for Guns N' fucking Roses, and I don't even do shit.
No, I see YouTube videos of that tour.
Speaking
and,
of douche, hold on, Dane. I got a great
the
lead.
audience is only halfway full.
Speaking of douche,
when the-
delicious Bang energy drink tastes much better than a douche. Delicious Bang energy drink. Today's flavor is purple haze. Thank you, Bang energy drink. Thank you for tasting better than a douche. Speaking of douches, Dane, back to you.
I forgot what I was talking about.
No one was paying attention anyway. It's all good.
I know it.
Speaking of which, speaking of holes in the story, Swiss Picks, the greatest guitar pick ever. Swiss Picks with raised holes for your. See how I'm segueing these
That's
things?
what she said.
Swiss Picks, the greatest guitar pick. Get your
If she
grip on.
has
Put your
raised holes,
fingers
you need to want to see a doctor.
in those tight, tiny holes. Swiss Picks. Dane sells them at his store in Arizona, Zim's Guitars. You should stop over at Dane's store and pay attention. Say hi to Dane. Go over, pick up some Swiss Picks there. Swiss
Bully
Picks,
him,
little
bully
yellow,
him,
different,
bully him.
whatever color. The Jason Becker Blue Cheese Edition. Pick those up in tribute to Jason and help Jason out because he gets part of that money for his charity. And Swiss Picks, greatest gripping guitar pick ever. Buy these. They're great. Swiss Picks. Once you try one, you will
Speaking
not
of
go back.
bullies, Paul, speaking of bullies, sad news, man.
We were
Your
talking about
favorite
Swiss
guitar
Picks.
shop. Your favorite guitar shop, Paul, I'm sorry to say, but Tommy's Guitars has officially gone out of business.
That's a shame. It was a great guitar shop. There's
Mhm.
no, I mean,
Yeah, they
it'll
were.
be truly missed. I mean, that's where I got all my guitars. Tommy bought all his guitars from me, unlike you.
Did he?
Another one bites the
Paul.
dust.
Okay, Paul. What guitar do you want?
Wait, hold on. We have Tommy
buy it.
calling in on the phone. Tommy, you said you're depressed. What were you saying? Tommy? Tommy? Oh gosh. Oh gosh. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
This is horrible.
This is terrible.
No,
Tommy.
I'm
I'm
not-
sorry
I'm
you
not-
went out.
I'm
His
Oh my
guitar shop
gosh.
ran on
my
doing
gosh.
in on-site guitar lessons, and because of YouTube, nobody does on-site guitar lessons anymore.
You
Well,
guys
if
really
you're
don't
in
like that
Arizona-
store, do you?
If you're in Arizona, what are you in? Tempe?
I am in Mesa.
Mesa, Arizona. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go check out Zim's guitars. Say hi to Dane and keep Dane alive, hopefully.
That's right. We don't want to go out of business over here at Zim.
Or out with a bang. You don't want to go out at all. Speaking of Kurt Cobain, Kurt Cobain's let's shift gears here. Kurt Cobain's #1 guitar, the one in the Smells Like Teen Spirit, going up for auction this month, or I'm sorry, in May. I hate to report on this because I'm not the biggest Nirvana fan. That is not it, by the way. That's not it, Dane. Dane is not holding the guitar.
Nope.
But Johnny could probably look up a photo of it. Yeah, that's not the specific guitar. Very similar. But it is going up for auction. I'm sure this is going to be one of the biggest record-setting guitars out there. I mean, celebrity guitars go for a lot of money when someone passes away. They go for a lot of money when someone doesn't pass away, but a real lot of money when they do pass away. Obviously, Kurt Cobain, the sound of a generation, not my favorite sound, but got to respect what it is. It is going up for sale at Julian's. Now, Julian's, if you remember, sold some really cool Van Halen guitars after Eddie passed away. Nothing major, just, a few of Eddie's, guitars that he has used and things like that. But the one used in the Smells Like Teen Spirit video is going up for sale. I don't even know how many millions that will go for, but it will certainly be in the millions.
It'll be one of the top artist
Selling
guitars you can
ever, 'cause
ever.
I remember
ever
that
get.
acoustic one he sold from that MTV acoustic show, sold for like $6 million or something. So this is the one that really changed the landscape of music from hair metal to grunge. So this was, I don't know how many times we've all seen that video. KXM Rock says it's not a Jag Stang, it's a Disgustang. And
There's
let's
an early
see.
Nirvana
And yes,
video.
that is a Nagel gunslinger behind me. Good eye.
There's an early Nirvana video where they played at the Palladium or someplace. And he was playing a Fernandez, left-handed Strat style Fernandez.
Our guitars
that's like
suck.
like a $200 pawn shop
and our
guitar.
music sucks.
And he ended up breaking it and everything.
Come in your mouth.
He broke guitars
on
like
your
every night.
face.
Yeah.
Well, they were worth breaking. They were ugly fucking ass guitars.
Paul,
I'm
what's new
sorry.
on your?
I hate.
I don't know
Well,
why. The only
well-
picture you can find.
well,
is
here you go.
one where it's backwards, but
Yeah, much
that's-
like his music, much like the
that-
grunge music scene, it's
Offset.
backwards.
that's it though.
No, there are better photos. Are you on Julian's website?
I'm
Hey,
at
Dwight Bailey.
Barron's.
No, go to
Dwight Bailey.
Julian. Go to Julian's auction house. Just Google Julian's Kurt Cobain. That's not it.
There's
Johnny.
his Rambler.
This talks about Julian's.
Yeah, go to Julian's, Johnny. The last
Talking
time we had a
guitars in
car on here was
90s.
Chris Holmes' Firebird.
Yeah, that was
Talking
awesome.
guitars in 90s.
That was
grunge.
awesome. That was awesome.
You know what, guys,
Biel, we
though,
love you.
Rick Beato did a video of his like 10 favorite Alice in Chains songs. And I watched it and I have to admit, holy crap, those are some good songs. I don't know the names of any of them, but all through the 90s, the radio
And
just
Johnny
kept them
leaves the helm.
going.
You like that, Paul? I asked Johnny for a
Isn't it?
photo.
Yeah.
Johnny's diarrhea kicks right in.
I will say this, and I've said it before, of the grunge bands, the quote unquote grunge bands, neither Alice in Chains nor Soundgarden are grunge bands. They're metal bands that wore flannel because it was convenient from a marketing standpoint. They are not grunge bands. Alice in Chains is a metal band. Soundgarden's a metal band. You can trace them back to Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin. Grunge bands are traced back to bands like the Pixies and the Doors. And the Doors is the
Neil
Doors
Young.
and Neil Young and Crazy Horse and the Stooges and that sort of garage rock punk sound gave Steppenwolf, all that stuff gave birth to what the grunge thing is. Alice in Chains was actually a hair band before they realized that the hair band thing was over and decided, okay, we're going to take the hairspray out. And we're going to put on some flannel. But Alice in Chains and Soundgarden are metal bands.
Johnny making a bank run, according to Mad Dog. Johnny, deposit all that money from the super chats. You made the deposit?
Not
All
yet.
right, all right, go to did some cocaine. Just go to Julian's auctions, please, and bring
Kurt
up
Cobain.
that Kurt Cobain.
Oh, this is from
just
2 years.
Come
2 years ago.
as you are.
Come on your face, on your tits, all over your walls, on the table, if you're able, look it up with your tongue.
Oh, there it is. Oh, wow.
Yes, there it is.
Wow,
Show
the
rest of
internet's
us,
neat.
Johnny.
The internet is neat.
Oh my God, there's nude people on here. Naked ladies with their boobies and everything.
All right.
If you haven't smashed the like button, please smash the like button. We appreciate that.
Yeah, and subscribe.
Not you, Johnny.
I already did.
I hope so.
I'm like the first one that does.
Memory.
There it is. Okay, so this is what Dean, what type of guitar is that even? Is it
Yeah, that's a Mustang.
It's a Fender Mustang.
That's a Mustang. Okay.
That's a Mustang.
Left-handed.
That's what's the wrong. Okay.
Single coils.
To south. So
Nice job.
Two switches on the top of the single coils that would turn them on and off.
You're nailing it,
No.
Dane.
That
Yeah,
bottom one's
volume-
that bottom one's a blade.
go Dean,
the blade
go.
switches, yeah. In the center position, the pickup is off. You can swipe them either direction to turn the pickup on. So you don't have to remember, oh, does it go to the right to turn it on? Or do I turn it to the left to turn it on? The center position's off. Either direction turns it on.
Dean, which switch makes it sound as terrible as grunge music sounded in the 90s? Which switch did that?
That would probably be like a Rat pedal or the DOD, the grunge pedal from
MX
DOD.
MXR
stuff like
fuzz box.
that. Yeah.
There we go. There we go. So this guitar, what do they have as the estimate there, Johnny?
I thought it was 800K.
So that's the opening, meaning. Is it opening at 800?
I thought I saw 800K somewhere.
I mean, this thing,
1969.
I'd love one. What about the guitar though, Dean?
There it is, right there at the bottom.
500 to 800. Oh, so very low reserve.
That's pretty
Meaning
low
there-
for an opening
there-
bid, anyway.
Well, here's the thing, and I've been in the auction business for a number of years with celebrity items like this. When it comes to something like this, the opening bid, the minimum bid being 500,000 means that's the reserve. Now, of course, this is going to easily hit reserve, but it entices people to get in the heat of bidding.
That has
And-
Jim Irsay written all over it. If you don't know who Jim Irsay is,
I do.
he is the owner of the Indianapolis Colts, who has a tendency to drink and bid on auction items. He owns like Ringo Starr's drum kit.
He's
He's a huge music
loves
memorabilia
celebrity
guy.
guitars. He loves
He's a
celebrity
huge
guitars.
music memorabilia collector. This has him on it. It has Todd McFarlane. There are guys who collect this kind of stuff. This is right down their alley. do not be surprised if you've got the kind of money to bid on this guitar, that you will be competing with the owner of the Indianapolis Colts to buy this guitar.
And
I have no doubt about it.
That dude bought a lot of the Pink
before.
Floyd guitars.
Super nice guy.
No, very, very sweet guy. His rep's very nice too.
Yep.
I've spoken to him because I have something in my collection that he would like. That is not for sale, but I know what he likes. I know what he collects.
Yep.
And he has the money to make things happen.
Yep.
So this
he's a billionaire with a B, so he can make it happen.
Yeah, that would be my guess of who's going to win that.
Yeah, he's not going to let this guitar go. He's a big rock fan. He's a big collector. I would not be shocked to find out that Jim Irsay buys this guitar.
Yeah, and I hey, give it a go, everyone. Give it a go.
Paul, let me ask you
Paul,
let me ask you, or John, let me ask you guys, or Johnny, how do you think this guitar actually plays?
As well as Kurt did.
I don't know.
Guitar plays like shit.
I don't know what action he liked, and I it's a lefty too, so I can't even like judge. I know I wouldn't be comfortable playing it because I don't like that style of guitar.
Yeah, Fenders are what they are. You know what you're getting. I don't know that there's a big difference in a decent Fender. Once you get to past a certain level, they all play fairly the same. I've never had a decent Fender, and I say that, I mean, above the level of the Indonesian Squire, Affinity Series, shit like that.
No.
I've never had one play poorly.
That thing
they're not great, but they're not.
No,
they're not
that
poorly.
thing is a short scale guitar, so it's a 24-inch scale length. Your average Fender 25 and a half.
Right.
So it's even a little bit smaller than a Gibson scale length.
Yeah, it's a half-inch smaller than a Gibson.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's going to be tight.
It's left-handed too, so none of us can play it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the condition of that thing. That was in that music video.
It's a piece of history.
That was
huge piece of history.
I mean, I hate to say it, but that was my generation's introduction to grunge music. Was that guitar?
That was the
song.
Proud of that.
Well, I mean, I don't hate to say it, but I mean, you guys.
No, look, that was the song. That was a song that was like part heavy metal, part grunge, and it kind of was the perfect segue from one genre into
channel
the other.
Changing.
It was the right song at the right time. Yeah, it was.
Absolutely.
It is as much as I am not a Nirvana fan, that song is a flashpoint, a tipping point, a big bang, whatever you want to use, whatever superlative you want to use to talk about one of the 10 most important songs ever written. It is. It just is. That changed the course of the entire world, both pop culture and musically. It is a supremely important song. Every bit as important as Imagine from John Lennon. Every bit as important as Stairway to Heaven. Every bit as important as Freebird, Dream On, Sweet Child of Mine. Whatever important, the greatest rock songs, Hotel California, Smells Like Teen Spirit is that. I fucking don't like the song.
Big Bottoms.
I don't like the band, but it is absolutely one of the most important songs ever written. It changed the course of music and world history. That's incredible.
She Blows.
It's incredible. It's an incredible song, whether or not we like it or not. I liked it when it was called More Than a Feeling. It is. It's More Than a Feeling. It's basically the same song.
And Kurt Cobain could have played a really awesome, great playing left-handed Ibanez or a great playing guitar, but because of his hatred for all the hair metal fans and the 80s music, he picked a piece of junk like that. Out of just hatred.
Wow.
Well, no, I think it's a great example of minimalist
possibility
art.
That he just liked that. I mean,
yeah, maybe it was the only guitar he had at the time or he could afford. I don't know that many people walk in and say, you know what, a 69 Mustang, that, unless I'm looking for a car, a 69 Mustang is not, I don't know if it's anybody's first choice. I think it's the guitar he picked up and went, all right, I kind of like the way this sounds. Let's play it.
That wasn't the first guitar he ever bought, I don't think.
I don't know if it was or wasn't. I don't think he gave a shit. I think he picked it up. I think it was in tune, and I think it sounded right for the song.
Because what year was it?
Well, it was
That
in the
Nirvana
video.
came out. 1990. That was
Well-
probably at least a $1,200 guitar in 1990.
91 was when Nevermind came out.
Yeah. And who knows if he actually used it on the recording? I mean, it was
No,
used
he
in the
didn't.
video.
He probably didn't own that guitar at the time of the recording. He probably got that after he made a little bit of money.
Yep, I love the punk ethos of, but I like punk rock, so I like the punk ethos of Nirvana. I think Nirvana was overrated, but I think that their good stuff is very good. I think School is good. I think Love Buzz is good. I think All Apologies is the best song they ever wrote. But Smells Like Teen Spirit was the song. It was a song that fucking changed the world. For better or worse, it's still the song that changed the world.
Mm-hmm. And it gets played every day, all
Yep.
day long.
It's a massive song. It's super important.
Okay.
Thank you, Johnny.
Let me see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean,
Do
that's the
that-
thing. AI gaming.
Do
The
that
Melvins,
permanently, please, Johnny.
the Melvins and the Pixies and Sonic Youth, and a lot of the bands that were responsible. There's, and Crazy Horse. I've said it before, Crazy Horse. And this might sound a little crazy to some people. King's X, Atomic Opera, Galactic Cowboys, that Houston sound, King's X, that huge wall of sound, guitar, punchy, not the harmonies, but the musical sound of what King's X did, is kind of the foundation for grunge as well. And yes, and Sabbath and the Beatles obviously are the fucking starting point for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But if you listen to some of that King's X stuff, there's a lot of grunge in that.
No, look, it was a generation of music after a long, long generation of metal. And, like I said, I'm not a grunge fan. Everybody in the stream knows it, but I can't deny how historic that band was, that song was, that video was.
Sure.
And this is going to be the new record holder. Here's my prediction. Going to be the new record holder of guitars that Celebrity Guitar sold at auction.
What's
Last
interesting
one was 6 million. It was Kurt Cobain's as well.
That's an interesting. It's an interesting concept too, because let's face it. Despite what Rolling Stone says, Kurt Cobain was not a great guitar player. I don't know anybody on the face of the earth that will call him a great guitar player. He's not. He was never a great guitar player, but he was certainly the guitar player in the most important band of his generation. And that counts for something. Whereas you got guys like Eric Clapton and David Gilmour and, Les Paul and Peter Green and Mike Bloomfield and Gary Moore and all of these amazing guitars that have gone up for auction. This will probably eclipse all of them. And it was played by the least talented guitar player of all time of that list.
Agreed.
Because it's not about, and that's, we've talked about this before. It's not about being a great guitar player. If that were the case, Yngwie Malmsteen would be a fucking household name. It's not about being a great
singer. David Lee Roth was not a great singer, but boy,
and neither
was
is
he a
Bob
great
Dylan.
entertainer.
Neither is Bob Dylan, and neither is Bruce Springsteen. But it's about how they connect with the audience, and that's really what music is always about. Despite all the nonsense that we talk about on this show, and what bands we like, and what tribute shows should happen and stuff, love what you love, because that's the right answer. Whatever music you like, you might fucking hate grunge, you might love grunge, you might love hair bands or hate hair bands, whatever it is. Love what you love. If it connects with you, then it's fucking good. Then it's good. Whatever it is, it's fucking good. Yeah, if it's country, if you like country or you like pop music, if you like Pink's music or John Mayer's music or whatever, fucking embrace it. That's the beauty. Music is a fucking gift. And we should
I'm with you, Drew SGS. I'm with you, man.
And embrace the music you love.
Yeah. If it sounds good, it is good.
Yeah. Embrace that music you love.
Like it.
I've been listening to Social Distortion and Typo Negative for the past 2 weeks because it's just been fun.
Social D.
It's funny. I was literally talking with a friend about Typo Negative the other day.
Take away this ball and chain.
Yeah, no, Social D is the band that it's really weird. It's not anybody's. I don't think it's anybody's favorite band, but when you find out Social D is playing, you're like, oh shit, yeah, I'll go. Like they're like Cheap Trick and a couple other bands where they're just sort of there.
They're easy listening punk rock.
Yeah, you don't appreciate how good they are until you sit down and listen to them and you're like, oh yeah. And I don't know any music fan that doesn't like Social D.
Yeah, there's a little story in every song. He writes little stories.
He's great.
Like Story of My Life. Great song.
It's great shit, man. That Social D is one of those bands that, you know, they don't really sound like anybody else. They got sort of a cowpunk feel to them, kind of a blues feel, kind of a punk rock feel. They've got, you know, there are very few bands, like we talk about the Police and we talk about Korn, and you know, I'll use Type O Negative just because I had mentioned them a little bit earlier. Type O Negative is one of those goth metal bands that should be revered in the same way that The Cure and Depeche Mode and New Order and Einstürzende Neubauten, which is more industrial. But it's one of those bands that should be embraced as much as The Cure is, because they were every bit as good as The Cure and Bauhaus. But because Peter Steele and that band were scary looking, they didn't have a very good public image. So, and there's another great band, Public Image, that a lot of people, you know, don't appreciate.
But you know what?
And they're all great bands.
You said they had a scary public image, but they appealed to a certain group.
Sure they did. Like, here's a great example. Keith Campbell. I fucking hate Deftones. Hate Deftones. That's okay. People love Deftones. People that love Deftones, I don't know that there's many middle of the ground Deftones fans. You either like them or you don't. I don't know that there's many middle of the ground Deftones fans, but I could be wrong.
I'm cool with them.
Yeah. I don't like whisper vocals. I don't like Deftones. I don't like Smashing Pumpkins. I don't like that, you know, that whisper thing.
So you don't like Billie Eilish?
No, but I do like Billy Idol. I'm a huge Billy Idol fan.
Playing with myself.
Billy Idol is fucking great. Generation X was great. Steve Stevens, super underrated guitar player in my opinion. Billy Idol wrote fucking amazing mainstream punk rock songs.
You really like that Pokey, right, Johnny?
Yeah, Pokey.
This is cool, man. For Kurt Cobain, diehards, this is like amazing stuff.
No, they have a great selection, and shout out to Darren Julian, because I'm friends with those guys. I know all the other auction houses. I love these guys. He's got a lot of Kurt's personal items there. You see the skateboard, and you know the guitar is the highlight. Obviously, that's your showpiece. But it's cool if you don't happen to own the Colts football team, you may try for one of these drawings or his personal Pokey doll. What is it? He had that shoved up his ass. What
a car?
Does it smell like Courtney Love? That
smells like doll? Teen Spirit.
It sure does, baby. You may want his car to drag race with Chris Holmes's Firebird.
Says he drew that.
AI Gaming, Billy Corgan is a pretty talented guy and a very, very big Van Halen fan. But I just don't like his music. His music doesn't move me. And that's okay, because it moves millions of other people, and that's fine.
What if he took part in that tribute?
I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to take part in that tribute, to be honest with you.
I'd rather see people that weren't known as trying to be Van Halen clones taking part.
Like Weezer. Like the guys in Weezer. And
I like Weezer. I like Weezer.
Weezer writes, I mean, look, fucking Hash Pipe is a fantastic song. Hash Pipe is a great fucking song. I'm not a big fan of Undone. I don't like a lot of Weezer, but the Weezer I really like. Hash Pipe is fucking awesome.
Johnny, screen that call real quick.
You know, I mean, that's the thing. Listen to what you dig, man, and don't let anybody tell you what you dig sucks. Except Mitch Malloy. Fuck that guy.
Paulie, how would you feel if he was the one of the singers on that Van Halen tribute tour?
I don't care who the singers on that tribute tour is. I'm not going, even if it's David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar. So I don't give a flying fuck. Let him have it.
Yeah, can't drive 55. I don't want Blue Rhino to meet Cobain's Pokey.
Paul, here's the deal, though. That's going to be a KSLX show, and they'll be, hey, Paul, we need you to bring them on.
I thought he said, Paul, here's that dildo.
The Van Halen tribute's going to be a KSLX concert.
You need to understand something, Dave. What I do for work and my personal opinion, you can separate those two. The idea that millions of people would love this Van Halen tribute show, if they do, absolutely. Dude, what I do on the radio is not about me, it's about the audience. That's what performing is about. You're not performing for you. Dude, if it was my radio station, 2 people would listen, me and John. That's, I mean, it's that's the.
I would definitely listen, Paulie. I would. Definitely
you got to keep your personal, and that's the difference between music that you enjoy and music that you work with. Which brings me back to what we were talking about with Mammoth and Guns N' Roses. It was a good business move. Whether or not they're going after the same fan base is irrelevant. You're going after anybody that has $17.99 in their pocket that can buy your disc. That's business.
Leo Safko wins the internet.
I didn't see what Leo wrote. Let me look.
He just quoted Dane. That's all.
Oh. Yeah, no, there's I mean,
for the hearing impaired watching the show.
I would like that. Look, if it happens, I want it to be big and I want it to be successful. I may not like it, but that doesn't mean I want it to fail. That's where we are in America in 2022. That's the point I was making in my post on Facebook, which is I know how the world works today. If you don't like it, it sucks. And that's nonsense. Because somebody pointed earlier, the worst band in the world is Nickelback. Well, unless one guy has 30 million copies of their CD in his basement, you're wrong.
Yeah, it's not the worst band.
Yeah.
And by the way, when I say that, and Dane liked to bring this up last week, you can have that opinion, but you're wrong. That doesn't mean I don't agree with you, but I have lots of opinions, but I'm wrong because the fucking world has voted and the world wins. I fucking hate the Eagles. I'm wrong because the world loves the Eagles. I don't have to like the Eagles. And that's the same thing with Nickelback. Nickelback, dude, Side of a Bullet is a fucking great song. Never Again is a great song.
There's another band out there that the world likes. I'm not a fan of. Johnny, you have a photo of that band? Do you have the photo of that band? That I don't know what the guy's name is, but I hear he's sold a lot of albums.
Uh-oh. Here it comes. Teach.
Oh, there he is.
Children well. Yeah, well, that guy, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, whether or not we think they're all assholes, and they are.
I think they're meh.
They have some fucking great songs. They have some great songs, man. You don't want to admit it, but some of those songs are pretty
he doesn't
fucking
look
good.
a day over 35 either. So I mean,
yeah, some of those songs are fucking fantastic.
Oh, they're great.
We got a call here for Paul.
Oh.
Hey, you're on.
Hey, Paul, it's False Flag. I just got a quick question for you.
Right.
I don't believe any.
Johnny recorded this earlier.
The first 3.
You what?
Any kind of Nirvana influence.
What was?
I don't.
What was that? Can you repeat that again, real quick?
Are you drunk?
I don't think any of the first 3 King's X albums have any kind of grunge influence or Nirvana influence.
I didn't say the first 3 King's X albums. I said King's X was.
I'd love to know which songs Paul thinks that have that influence.
It's not the song, it's the sonic.
That's all I wanted to say.
Well, I'll pull up King's X's catalog because I don't happen to have their CDs in front of me. But I'll point it out. It's not about the songs. It's about the tone and the sonic nature of King's X.
Yeah, King's X tuned. It was their guitar tuning. I think they're a half step down, drop D on most of their songs.
Yeah,
so that gives you that 90s tone,
that fat feel to it.
And it's big and fat, and yeah, they had a thick. That one song, Dog Man. I think
Power of Love is the chord. I mean, the way that song cranks in. That riff, the riffs in Power of Love are grunge sounding. King has the chords, the sonic nature of those songs being presented are grunge in their tonal qualities. And I think I made the point when I was talking about King's X earlier. I don't mean vocally and I don't mean the harmonies. I mean the sonic nature of King's X is absolutely paramount to the formation of grunge music or the foundation of grunge music. There's a very, very similar tonal quality to what King's X was doing, and it's really not King's X. It was their producer, a guy named Sam Taylor. And Sam Taylor was real big. He had this wall of sound guitar thing. Galactic Cowboys have it. King's X had it. And by the way, King's X didn't originally have it. King's X, when they were sneak preview back in Missouri, they didn't have that sort of sound. Sam Taylor, who was a guy in Houston, Texas, who had this, he had a sound not unlike Spencer Proffer did with Kick-Axe and Quiet Riot, and Beau Hill did with Rat. Because remember, Rat, when that Rat EP came out, doesn't sound anything like Invasion of Your Privacy. When Beau Hill got a hold of Rat, he changed their sonic nature, and they sounded way more different. The drums were different. If you listen to You Think You're Tough, listen to the drums and you think you're tough, and then listen to the drums in Dance or Slip of the Lip. Those are completely different sonic qualities. So that's the point I'm trying to make, is Sam Taylor in Houston, Texas, who was the producer for Galactic Cowboys and King's X and Atomic Opera, is absolutely responsible. And King's X is the biggest of those three bands, is absolutely responsible for what eventually got morphed. And a lot of those grunge bands, if you listen to them and you sit down and talk to them, will cite King's X as one of their favorite bands.
Dane disagrees so much, Paulie, he left the show. Look at that. Could you imagine Dane doing like a newscast? And now the weather. Let's go to Dane for the weather. Dane.
And I mean, and Black Flag is a fucking grunge song. I mean, obviously now we're
False
talking.
Flag is a grunge song.
False Flag.
The cook is never tired. False Flag.
So yeah, I mean, it's not really about individual songs. It was about what Sam Taylor did with the band. King's X is a fantastic band, Leo Safko. You really should check them out. They are an underrated gem.
I never could get into them. I think
you're
they're
missing.
good, but I tried. Over My Head was the only song that came close.
Dude,
and
Pray
it
is
was
a
just that
fantastic
one
song.
riff. That one riff I thought was kind of cool, but that was pretty much it. It was just like I just couldn't get into them.
Oh, Ty Tabor is one of the great guitar players of his era.
Maybe I'm missing something. I only have that one album. What was it? The one with Over My Head I bought.
Over My Head, it was Faith, Hope, Love.
No, it was a different title. It was
was that on Gretchen Goes to Nebraska?
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
That's the one I have, and I wasn't impressed with it.
My God. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I do.
What am I missing? I just I don't
Gretchen
know. It just
is-
never. It
No,
just
you're
never
missing
worked with
something.
me.
You're missing something, because you should go back and check. I mean, The Burning Down is fantastic.
Maybe years later it'll read
Send a
differently.
Message. Send a Message is fantastic. No, they are. King's X is a supreme band. Really good. But look, if you don't like them, that's fine. I think they're fucking outstanding.
Yeah, maybe I'm like I said, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe it just didn't hit me the way that so many others of that era. I just like took right to the album. This I was like, it's okay. It's not,
I know
I know a lot of people that like them.
I love them. Love that band.
Yeah.
But that's, again, as we were saying earlier, whatever you love is what you love. You like bands I fucking can't stand, so.
Yeah, no, you're not a Danger fan, right?
Nope.
No,
Don't get it. Danger, Firehouse.
I love
Not for
those
me.
guys. Both
Not
of
for
those
me.
guys.
Not for me.
No,
Too
that's
polished.
all right. It's
Steelheart.
okay to agree to
polished.
disagree. Oh, I love Steelheart. Mike Mativic. What vocals on him?
Yeah, Jim Gillette. What vocals on him?
Well, yeah. Jim. When I think Gillette, I think Razor. When I think Jim Gillette and Razor, I want to open my wrists. That's that's that song. Nitro. It makes my testicles shrivel and my anus puckers so tight you could freaking just break rocks in there. What do you got there, Dane? I see you tinkling around there. What do you got there?
Nothing fancy, just a little Ibanez that I've been working on all day.
All right. Well, you're a good guitar builder. We appreciate that.
I just try to take something that's all beat up and bring it back to life.
That's what I say when my penis is soft. So Gene Simmons, Paulie, you're going to love this. Have you heard Gene Simmons' new deal with Gibson?
Oh, he's got a new Thunderbird bass.
Gene Simmons, for those not paying attention to the music world, has cut a deal with Gibson. Gibson, if you notice, has been snapping up new endorsees left and right for their products. They got Kirk Hammett. They got Dave Mustaine. I mean, they're really on a binge. They're under new management. What, since the last 2 years? Last year, 2 years?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Caesar's doing a great job with Gibson. They've really turned that company around. Their guitars, the quality control has changed immensely. New Gibsons,
which is
from
a
about
big deal.
yes, from about the middle of. No, they've been hit or miss for the better part of 30 years. I mean, you always hear about.
Not liked at least the last 20 years. I've been saying hit or miss. Usually miss for me.
Usually, no, you're right. You're right. You've got to go and find the right one. Now, since about midway through 2019, when Caesar took over the company and they came out of bankruptcy, the quality of guitars in Gibson are elite again. They're an elite guitar maker again. It's going to take a few years for the rest of the world to catch up to it, but the Gibson fanboys were first on board. And trust me, you're talking about people who absolutely want to shit all over that guitar company. You know, there's no bigger critic in the Gibson world than Gibson fans. They fucking shit. It's the most amazing, weird thing. They're the biggest haters on the planet. And even they're like, I got to admit, these things are pretty fucking good.
KXM Rock says the guy from Norm's Rare Guitars works there now.
Well, no, he's just their media guy. You're talking about.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know who he's talking about.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, anyway, they nailed.
Yeah, Mark Agnesi. Mark Agnesi, who's kind of a douche, but
I know.
He started the wrong
podcast.
He started off on the wrong foot, but he seems to have been slapped into place, and he's
good guitar player. Really,
he's doing a better job. Yeah, good guitar player, but he exudes douche-tastic.
If Mark's doing a good job, God bless him, man.
He exudes douche-tastic.
Let's put it this way. I know that you told me, and I trust you implicitly with the feel of Gibsons, because you're a big Les Paul guy.
Yeah.
And I'm hit or miss with Les Pauls. For me, the quality of the last 20 years was like New Orleans, where it was either you find a winner, great. You find the rest, they suck.
Yep. You get a good one and it's fantastic, but it's, you really have to search to get a good one. Prior to 2019, now they're more consistent. I mean, you're still going to get a dog in any company. I mean, any guitar company is going to put out a dog here and there.
You're dealing with natural. You're dealing with natural wood that flexes and shrinks, and they're not all going to be winners. But the purpose is that you're saying that the quality control. So if I find a 2020, 2021 and up, I'm going to probably be happier than in the past. I'll take your word at that, and I'll
break out more. I have a 2020 Les Paul Custom Silverburst that I picked up. It is fucking immaculate. It's a beautiful guitar.
I'm looking forward to trying one of the new ones.
Yeah, you'll like it.
I really am. And anyway, they snapped up Gene Simmons, and Gene, of course, is the quintessential businessman, always cutting deals.
Money.
And money, boys and girls.
And like what money, please.
Gene, how much did they pay you to be an endorsee for Gibson?
A nominal fee.
That's what I thought you would say.
Yeah, a nominal fee.
And what's really funny is Gene, I don't even recall Gene playing a bass like this.
Thunderbirds? No. He played the old. He played an old.
He played the Punisher.
He played a Ripper way back when in the 70s.
Yeah,
or maybe it's a grabber.
Is it a grabber?
Well, Gene's been known to grab her many girls.
But yeah,
he's been known as a grabber.
You remember that was the first time. Kiss was the first time I'd ever seen a band announce their instrument endorsements on their albums. Remember, on the back of every Kiss album back in the day, it said, Kiss plays Gibson guitars and Pearl drums because they want the very best. That's the first time I'd ever seen a commercial for a music company on the back of any band's albums. They were brilliant, way ahead of their time on that.
And I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool.
It absolutely was. And looking at this, so Gene, I guess, had some input or whatever and saying, what he wanted and what they offered him, whatever way they worked it out. Gene has a new signature bass. It's dubbed the G2, like to the second power, I believe. And Gene
They made the body
recommends
big
it.
so it covers his fat.
Yeah, his covers his gut, and he basically recommends it in ebony. But the big part of this is, and I want you guys to watch this after the show, they did like a 3.5-minute infomercial, like a
Yes.
mock infomercial, and it's this nerdy, skinny kid, like a teenager. Are you getting bullied? And Gene's playing a doctor,
Yes,
like
doctor.
Dr. D Munn.
Yeah.
Something like that. And he's playing a doctor on an infomercial saying, are you getting bullied in school? Do women shun you? Do you need to be cool somehow? And, you get ready because here's the solution. And this kid gets this bass and suddenly women are craving all over him. And he's playing the cool guy in school and everyone wants to be his friend. And he's, playing rock shows. And, it's like an infomercial. Do you need this? Let me show you. Now there's the G2, the Gibson in ebony. And it's Gene doing this voiceover as this doctor, basically saying this bass is the cure for your being a loser. But it's so well done. It's so funny to watch. You guys got to see this. Like, make a point to look this up on YouTube. Just, put Gene Simmons Gibson commercial or whatever. And it's so funny seeing this. And it's like they really took some time to like make this play out. Gene must have been eating this up like the paycheck. And, probably get something in perpetuity for everyone sold. I mean, he really went all out with this. And it's just a lot of fun to see this Gene Simmons bass infomercial.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think
Dane, you play bass. Dane, you play bass. Would you play that?
I no, because the strap comes off the front. You need strap locks on the front horn that comes in at you. The freaking back horn is sticking in your belly button, which is never a good feeling. No, I wouldn't. And it's super neck dive. You put it in your lap and it just falls down like that. I would say no, I wouldn't play that.
Gene, what do you say to that?
Well, those who know that I love money, and Guitar Tommy has ordered several thousand of these. No,
would you recommend this to Dane? What would you recommend? Dane seems to.
I would recommend this bass. Let me tell you a story. I've got a brand new Gibson bass, and it's an expensive one too.
Because I love the money. It's
Won't you
gonna
give
roll
to me?
right in.
Yeah. Got that Gibson
Every
money.
bass you buy gives money to this guy. Sharon spreads her thighs.
Oh boy.
Give me the cash. When you know, you know.
Gosh.
Nope, that is a look, Gene, Gibson is smart. They're doing what Deane did. Look, Deane was a dead in the water company until they started signing up all these endorsees.
I think Deane's in big trouble right now, honestly.
Well, yeah, well, it's because their guitars are terrible.
Deane is in big trouble. Without Dime, Deane is really suffering. They were stupid to let that go.
And Mustaine and a bunch of other guys. They were smart. Deane was smart to sign all these endorsees. And look, it's what Ibanez did. It's what Charvel did back in the day, except Charvel and Ibanez make great guitars and Deane make affordable guitars manufactured offshore. And their quality is not great. If you can get an old Deane USA Cadillac, those are great guitars. Some of the old Deane USA stuff is good, but now it's all, made in Asian countries and the quality control, it's like we were talking about with Gibson, it's not very good. And because of that, people have moved on, and guys like Gibson and Fender and Ibanez and Paul Reed Smith, they're constantly improving the quality of their instruments. And in order for a company like Deane and a company like Washburn and some of these other companies, ESP, in order to keep their guitars affordable or at a level that the average guitar player can make, they got to skimp on some production costs, and quality costs money. And with inflation being what it is, and with the economy being what it is, It's tough to be able to afford one of the premium guitar companies. But then on the other hand, if I'm only going to spend $400 or $500 on a guitar, why would I buy a new Deane when I can buy a used Ibanez or a used ESP or a used BC Rich? You know what I mean? That's really what people are doing. They're deciding to go with the quality of the older guitars versus the new stuff.
Yeah, and that Gene Simmons bass was basically designed in the 1960s before they thought about neck dye.
58, I think, right?
And and all this, So not
Can't
a very
Try
good
55
it's a classic design, but I don't like it.
Can't Try 55 brings up a good point. Where is that made?
Oh, all Gibson guitars are USA made.
Okay, so that is
if it's got Gibson's name on it, it's made in the USA.
Okay.
In
Indonesia, if it's got
Epiphone.
Epi.
Yeah, Epiphone is made in Asia, whatever, and it could be anywhere from Korea all the way to China.
Keith Campbell says Deane is competing with Kiesel now. So Deane is breaking their guitars? Deane's selling garbage? When did that start?
No, I mean, those are all, it's funny because there was a time when the quote unquote budget model guitar, the distance between a budget model guitar and a premium model guitar was this distant. And the premium companies went, okay, we're going to get better. We're going to get better. We're going to get better. And now they are better. And so that distance is noticeable. But there was a period of time when you could get an ESP or a Kramer or a Charvel that was every bit as good, if not better, than a Gibson or a Fender or a Gretsch or whatever, whatever company you want to use for your premium guitar company to put in there, PRS. And now some of these other companies, the premium guitar companies have gotten better. They've improved their product, and that's left these middle of the road companies behind a little bit. And the only way that they can improve is by upping their prices and upping their manufacturing costs.
Octopus Heroes wants to know why I hate on Kiesel yet support Swiss Picks. Because Swiss Picks is not a part of Kiesel. It's an independent company. Swiss Picks is a great company with a great owner. Swiss Picks supports our show. And Kiesel fucked over Jay Hannon as well as many other players. Their customer service sucks, and you could go online and find out why people are mad at Kiesel.
Jeff is just a bad dude.
The one thing they do right is support Jason Becker, and there's no wrong way to support Jason Becker. So I'll give Kiesel their due for supporting Jason Becker, but you know what? Jeff Kiesel has to stand by their fucking product. He has to respect their customers. If we shit on our audience, rather than just putting out a crappy quality show as we do, if we actually shit on you and said, fuck you and fuck you and fuck you, you wouldn't come back here and watch the fucking show every week, which we hope you do. No, you wouldn't. The fact is, though, Kiesel's customer service is terrible. You could Google it online and read 1,000 testimonials. And, I'm not going to stand by that. I'm not going to support that. And it's not just hearsay. I know people, including our own great Jay Hannon of the band Gizmachi, who has experienced this. And he's not the only one.
What happens with Kiesel is every Kiesel is a custom-made guitar. So you don't get to go to Guitar Center and sit and play a Kiesel. You have to call them up and you have to say, or you go online and you say, hey, I want a green one with roasted maple and blah, blah, blah. And then they build it. And then 6 months later, they ship it to your house. And that's the first time you get to look at this thing. And then you're like, oh, there's a scratch right there. Oh, this roasted maple is white. And oh, my ebony board is maple. And so that's why you get many complaints.
It's not even, Dean, it's not even that they make mistakes. Mistakes happen. It's what you do to solve the problems for your customers. It's how you stand by your product.
Don't be a
dick.
Then the Kiesel should just automatically say, okay, send it back. And
yes, it's be the customer is always right.
Yeah.
The customer is always right. If you're spending $2,000 on a fucking guitar, make it right.
Yeah.
And I know it sucks. And you can write it off.
And apparently Jeff Kiesel has said, hey, wait a minute, dude, that's what you ordered. And some of them come out a little greener than others. And
but that's not what I ordered.
Not when I order a white guitar. When I order a white guitar, it does not come out green. Not in my book.
You make it fucking right. You make it fucking right.
You still look. Mistakes happen. It's what you do about
and you write it off.
Fix the problem.
Yes,
absolutely.
You don't be a dick. By the way, I want to address Bozique. Bozique says the problem with Gibbs, in my opinion, is when LTD and ESP imported a Les Paul copy, has locking tuners, stainless frets, and everything for $1,200, and a 3000 Gibson doesn't have those specs, that's a problem. Only when those locking tuners are legit Grover locking tuners and not Grover licensed Chinese junk and stay in tune. I don't care what tuners are on a guitar, to be honest with you, if it stays in tune. What I do care about is the workmanship and the sound and the craftsmanship of the guitar. And by the way, that doesn't mean that I think the Gibson is better than the ESP. I have an ESP USA Eclipse from 1998 that I would put up against any Gibson, and it would probably win. It's a fucking fantastic made guitar. But the premium guitar companies have recognized that ESP and LTD are making better guitars and said, okay, we have to up our game. And so they have. And
what's Keith Campbell saying right there? Explain that to me. Kiesel is not Guitar Center, Dane. What's he trying to say?
I don't know. Keith, what are you trying to say?
Well, Guitar Center just realizes they can just fucking somebody will come in and come out and leave. Kiesel is a boutique guitar manufacturer. They're not somebody that just has like Walmart.
You don't get to play a Kiesel. You order it online and it shows up 3 months later, 6 months later.
Yeah.
So
well,
they're definitely not.
Sometimes you do find them used at Guitar Center.
I don't think I said they were. Oh, sometimes you'll find a used one. Yeah. And then you have a chance to play it. Yeah.
And Bo Zeke also brings up, well, Kiesel did sign Sophie Lloyd as an endorsee. Hey, listen, Sophie Lloyd's a great player. And they have other endorsees they've signed on. Obviously, they have Jason Becker, but they have other endorsees that I think are also great players. I don't blame the players for playing what they enjoy. I mean, you tell someone, hey, we're going to give you free guitars, and they say, sure. They're not going to screw over their players. I'm sure Sophie Lloyd doesn't have Jeff Kiesel saying, yeah, no, I know you ordered purple, but it's red, but that's on you. He's not going to say that. That's an endorsee. She's going to get whatever she wants. They recognize talent. Good for Sophie Lloyd. Great player, monster player, actually, if you watch her. And her Kiesel's nice, but the fact is, for your average customer, for your average you and I guys, not you, Johnny, but for everyone else, they just don't respect us as customers. Johnny will get whatever he wants. Jeff Kiesel will be like, Johnny Beane, okay.
Yeah, Guitar Center just blows you up. I see what Keith is talking about now. They don't communicate with you; they just blow you up.
Well, Guitar Center rarely.
What Kiesel has done to Jay.
Well, no, I mean, all you have to do is watch a video of Jeff Kiesel and how he responds to criticism of his company.
He doesn't take it.
I mean, it's one thing if you've done something wrong, then cop to it. But if people are being assholes to you, don't let them shit on you. But if you've made a mistake, if somebody is paying thousands of dollars for a piece that they ordered online, that they ordered specifically a specific way, and you don't deliver it, then you either get your money back or they make it right. That's the way you should, and that's the cost of doing business. You're in a customer service business. The problem with Kiesel is he doesn't think anybody else can make guitars as well as he does, and he's wrong. There are several other great boutique guitar makers that will make you the guitar that you want. If you've chosen Kiesel, he should be appreciative of that, because every one of those guitars is expensive, and it's manpower hours, and it's labor, and it's your name. And if you put your name on something, there better be a level of craftsmanship or pride in it. You don't want your name associated with shit.
Vinum custom pickups, the way they are handcrafted and hand wound, a boutique pickup like Vinum custom pickups, proud sponsor of the show, Vinum custom pickups. Craig Vinum stands by his product.
We were going to get some of those a while back, and I don't remember when those are going to come.
Yeah, where's ours?
No,
where's ours?
Call Craig Vinum.
I don't know. I remember asking why.
But I'll tell you what, everyone's
emailed me and
said,
because I'm clamoring for them right now. We were told 2 years ago that we were getting
everyone that has them likes them. So Vinum custom pickups, proud maker of the Mancuda custom. Pink is the color, but make no mistake, you can get any color you want. He will hand wind pickups to your tastes, your needs, your requests, your requirements. Vinum custom pickups, truly a custom boutique pickup at an affordable price. Call Craig Vinum. Tell him you saw them on Talking Guitars and 80's Metal Live, and Craig will take good care of you. Paulie, Johnny, you should call Craig Vinum and tell him to take care of you, because Vinum custom pickups are the greatest hand-wound custom boutique pickups that are advertised on this show.
I want to go back to Bozique. Bozique, I'll ask you a question, and it's not confrontational. When's the last time you played a new Gibson? When's the last time you played a new Gibson, and what was the quality control issue that they're lagging in? Because I am almost certain that if you've picked up a Gibson made anywhere from the middle of 2019 to today, you don't have a quality control issue. I'm almost certain of it. They have improved significantly. Now, as I said, 20 minutes ago, it's going to take time for that word to get around. So if you're saying Gibson is still lagging in quality for $3,000, I would like an example of that. Give me an example of where that's happening, because I don't see that happening right now. Even on the internet, where there's so much Gibson hate, there's a reluctant acceptance that they've improved the product. That's even the haters are acknowledging that the product has improved. So if they're lagging in quality, if you can give me an example of that, I would love to hear it.
Paulie, put me in that category. I've told you many a times I'm not happy with the last 20 years of Gibson, but I agree. I am absolutely open-minded and willing, based on what you said, because I trust you.
Yeah,
that
the new ones are fantastic.
Changed. Management changes have improved a lot of companies. I've seen it. I'm willing to give Gibson a shot and see what a new Les Paul feels like. I want to try it. I'm anxious to try it.
Here's the thing: all the things that they made, that there were issues. First of all, and again, I don't want to come across like a Gibson fanboy, but we are talking about Gibson. So what they've done since mid 2019 is they've split their line into two separate divisions. You've got the original collection and you've got the modern collection. And one of the complaints about Gibson over the years is they've been fucking with things. They've been putting computer circuit boards instead of wiring it the old school with the orange drop capacitors and 50s wiring, and the kind of way that was the classic thing. When you buy a Les Paul or you buy a Flying V or you buy an SG, you're buying it because you want to buy a classic guitar for that classic sound and made the way it was supposed to be made. So they've split the two models, and you've got the original collection and the modern collection. The original collection is made to specs like it was back in the 50s and 60s. The 50s collection has the thicker neck, and the pickups are wired similar to the old PAFs with the same sort of lower 7 to 8K output. The same Switchcraft switches, the same knobs. The paint jobs are different. There's no routing of the body anymore. Everybody bitched about, even though it's such a bullshit complaint, the Swiss cheese holes. There's no Swiss cheese holes in the original collection.
The weight relief.
The weight relief, all that stuff. None of that stuff exists now. They're all solid. They're made the way they were made, obviously with upgraded materials and upgraded manufacturing processes, but they're made the way the classic Les Paul was made in the 50s and 60s original collection. The 60s collection has a thinner neck, has different pickups that are a little hotter because they're based upon the way the guitars were modified in the 80s, when some of the 80s guys were using some of the later model Les Pauls. Then you've got the modern collection. The modern collection has the coil taps and the circuit boards and the PCB boards in the back where you can assign phase switches and polarity and all the nonsense that basically got away from the thing that was made a Les Paul special guitar. So as they were hit and miss under Henry's stewardship, Cesar has said, okay, we're going to cut down the number of models that we make, and we're going to make the models the way that you have been bitching about for the past 30 years. And that's what they're doing. So if you've got an example, I'm going back and read. The main issue over the last 4 years, I played them at Guitar Center, Sam Ash. Les Pauls always have tuning issues, but I get it. Yeah, but you know what? Les Pauls, that's the nut. That's common with a lot of guitars.
No, the nut is running Kiesel. That's the nut.
Fenders do that too. If a nut isn't cut correctly, and that's not Gibson. That's not unique to Gibson. That's every guitar company has that. D and G strings on most guitars, depending on how the angle of the string going down to the string tree and then to the tuning peg, those tend to run a little bit sharp. And the way you deal with that is you put a little graphite in the nut. And that's, by the way, that's like buying a car and bitching because you need to put oil in it once in a while. And I'm not trying to be confrontational to you, But I will tell you, Les Pauls, I mean, that's been like that since day one. So do Strats. Strats have that problem. Any guitar that has a headstock where you've got the string going to this angle, it's the angle of the string break on the D and the G. That is the hardest angle going to the highest point. That's the longest distance. And that might be a design flaw for the headstock, for the 3-a-side headstock. But Gretches have that problem. Guilds have that problem. That is unique to guitars. Guitars all have that problem. That is an issue that you have to deal with the nut, the string gauge that you're using. I don't know that you can blame Gibson for that, but I'll give it to you. Yes, that is a known issue, and it tends to be bitched about more amongst Les Paul users. But you're right. But I don't know that that's unique to Les Pauls. And yes, you do, Renus. You do add things in new cars all the time.
Let me also tell. What the fudge? I think that's Gene Simmons saying, "Dane, please don't play my new bass." No, we joke, but Dane is a pro player. Dane is a bass player in a band, man.
Renus, you're absolutely wrong. The Les Paul is it is a 60-year-old design, but jazz guitar players played up here a lot. Les Paul played up here a ton. Charlie Christian played up here a ton. It was not made for people who don't play above the 12th fret. That's absolutely incorrect. It's a jazz guitar player. It's a jazz guitar. The Les Paul was originally a jazz guitar, and
it's not made as a shredder guitar.
It's not made as a shredder guitar. It's not made as a shredder guitar, but it is made for people who play high on the neck. Absolutely.
Hello.
Hey, just to touch on Octopus ears real quick.
One second.
Just to touch on Octopus ears real quick. What do I think of Kiesel claiming they have vastly improved their customer service in the last year? Honestly, to be fair, I don't know. If anyone has had good experiences with Kiesel in the last year, I'm all for it. I hope they have. I hope they have changed their route. It's hard to imagine, but I can keep an open mind and say, if they have, God bless them. Good for them and good for their customers, which is what it really is about. So go ahead.
I heard a rumor that Kiesel is not going to be at the NAMM show this year.
Oh, darn.
I'll be there, though.
Yes,
Hello.
Drew. Yes, Drew SG60. The hang on, Kurt.
1 second,
yes,
Kurt.
Drew SG60. The Les Paul is a 70-year-old guitar, but it took them about 5 or 6 years to get the design solid. It wasn't until 57, 58 that they had the tunematic bridge, the extra tailpiece. It took the first from 52 to 57. They were still working out the design. So the design of the Les Paul as we know it today really began in 57, 58.
And real quick,
but it is a 70-year-old design. Absolutely.
Rico B, how are you?
52 was the first year of the Les Paul.
Real quick, Lindy Lynch says, "I don't feel my twatty." I'm happy to feel your twatty.
Oh, come on.
Oh wait, tardy. I'm sorry, Lindy. My bad. Go ahead, Kurt. Go ahead, Kurt. Take care.
Renus Pinkle, the neck does extend into the pickup cavity now.
Yes, I will extend into Lindy's cavity.
They have the long tenon again. It's actually much better.
Kurt with a C, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I just wanted to chime in again. Tonight is Paul's night. First, he was spot on the Van Halen reunion or tribute thing, and his little spiel on the Les Paul just now was perfect. I don't know. I wanted to say it's appreciated. Yeah, pat yourself. It was perfect. About the nut, he knows what he's talking about. He's not just blowing smoke. I dug it. So,
Well, look, thank you, Dane, for interrupting that. Hey, look, we are all happy Paulie is back and feeling a lot better. And he came in with piss and vinegar. So he's raring to go, man. He's been building up for 2 weeks. He's been ready to rip apart subjects. Good for him. We're happy he's here. Don't always have to agree with each other, boys and girls. Just have to be together. One happy family.
Yeah. If we're talking about nuts, I'm your guy.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of nuts, Lindy, what do you think of these?
Oh.
Sorry. There we go.
Well, and Rena Spinkle on the old Gibson guitars, that hide glue, this is where the difference was. On almost all Gibson guitars during the Henry era, they were made with a different type of glue. Now it's the hide glue that they used back in the day, obviously with a different chemical compound construction because the other stuff, the original hide glue, killed people because it had cancer-causing agents in it. But the new hide glue, the new glue that they're using to put those guitars better put together is better than it used to be. And again, those are all the complaints. All those complaints are absolutely valid and being addressed by the new management, which I think is great. And by the way, I love Les Paul guitars, but I'm not a Gibson fanboy. I'm not gonna excuse some of the shit that they've put out. They put out a lot of garbage guitars, a lot of shit mistake guitars, and some of the Les Pauls they put out have been garbage. I mean, the entire 2015 year was fucking off. The robot tuner was a bad idea. The Access is a bad idea. Some of the PCB board where you have to take the back cover off and adjust it to get the pickup. I mean, they were the Les Paul robot. Yeah.
They smashed.
The 7-string Les Paul garbage.
Worked.
They smashed like a whole series of guitars with a tank. Did you guys see that a few years ago?
They were garbage. Johnny Heartbreaker, they don't have the neck. No.
The Gibson X model where they smashed them all.
Yeah, there were so many garbage.
That's pretty fun. Yeah, that robot just sucked. I mean, I love the blue burst finish on it, but it really was not a great guitar. And thank you, Brock. Appreciate that, man.
No, Gibson has made a lot of mistakes over the years. And they know that, and that's why they went into fucking bankruptcy. That's why they were getting their asses kicked by. Look, this is a 2010. It's a 2010. This is not a Gibson. This is a Fujigen. Made by.
And you like the quality of that, right?
This is a fantastic fucking guitar. It's got Gibson T-tops in it. But this guitar in 2010 was better than what Gibson was putting out, without a doubt. It's got Grovers on it. It's handmade. The only thing it doesn't have is the fret nibs, but that's binding. That's a personal choice. This guitar is solid. It sounds fucking fantastic. This in 2010 was better than what Gibson was making, so I own this. I've got some Gibsons, and I have some Gibsons, but I like Les Pauls. But Fujigen, Greco, Tokai, Edwards, Orville, which are Japanese, they're made also by Fujigen. And the ESPs, the ESP Eclipses, a lot of those guitars crush Gibson. This crushes most Gibsons. I have no problem playing this. I would play this over. You notice this is the one that's out that I play more. I have a bunch of Gibson Les Pauls, but this is the one that I play because it feels great and I enjoy it.
Can we also point out that Slash was not playing Gibsons originally? He played ghost builds of Gibsons. So let's just remember that.
Yep, Slash's guitars were not Gibsons. They were made by a guy named Chris Derrig and another guy named Max Baronet. And the Gibson guitars that are Slash models now, the Slash Appetite and all those Gibson Slash signature models are based upon Chris Derrig and Max Baronet's designs, not Gibson designs.
I saw a Facebook picture today, a post, and Slash is taking his BC Rich Warlock, the red one, out on tour with him.
BC Rich bitch.
No, he was actually, Dane's right. BC Rich built him a new Warlock as well.
Oh, did they? All right.
Slash likes BC Rich bitches, and he has a bunch of them. And that's usually his other signature guitar. He plays those because he likes them, not because he's endorsed by them. But the Warlock, which was an early pick of Slash's back in the early days of Guns N' Roses, he's back to. He has a red one now on tour that he just got from the company. That looks very nice.
Corrected. All right, I stand corrected. I didn't know he was doing. It's interesting. I'm surprised that BC Rich. Oh, that Gibson has no problem with him doing that because he is now under contract to Gibson as a brand ambassador, so to speak.
And he has signature models with them. Four or five of them.
I am very surprised that Gibson is that must have been written into the deal that Slash is like, look, I can do this as long as it's not a kind of guitar that you make. I would assume that that's kind of.
Slash has always been a major fan of BC Rich from
Oh,
the
yeah.
early days. As a teenager, he played Mockingbird. He liked Bitches since the early days. He liked the Warlock since the early days. Slash's new Warlock. It's like there it is,
There's a
right
Warlock,
there.
yeah.
Or is that an early photo, Johnny, or is that a recent?
Looks like an earlier one.
That's an early.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's an
very
earlier
early.
one. He has one very similar to that with a different headstock, a standard 3x3 headstock. But it looks otherwise like that. It's a red Warlock, very cool body style. I mean, that's truly metal. Really quick, just touching on, we were talking about Gibson Les Pauls earlier. Heinrich Ostergaard, who was the
Dirty Looks.
Dirty Looks lead singer and guitarist. I remember he loved Les Pauls, but he was picked as an endorsee by Ibanez, and they built him what he felt was a better quality Les Paul than Ibanez. He got to pick out the wood and the top and the whole 9 yards, and he brought them old Les Paul pickups and wiring and says, here, put those in. And if you've ever heard Dirty Looks as a band, you know their tone was incredible. And really that guitar, I know who owns it now, since he's passed away. And he says it's an incredible playing guitar, equally worthy of any vintage Les Paul he's ever played, and he's played a bunch of them.
Well, you and Dane both know that I own a guitar that's better than any Les Paul, any Gibson Les Paul.
I do indeed.
And it is
very Slash worthy.
Yeah, in fact, he could end up owning it at some point. It's
in your will to me.
Yeah. And it is the best Les Paul. I mean, I'll grab it and show it. I rarely break the guitar out. But I don't want to. Yes.
Mama Kuda's getting all excited. She's yanking her panties down and rubbing her clit. Paulie's gonna whip it out and show it. Oh God, yes, I've waited for this day.
All right, I'll grab it just because we're talking about it. Hang on.
Okay. Mama Kuda, by the way, spoke to me the other day. She's like, I really like the name Renus Pinkle. I can't stop saying it. I said, that's pretty funny. I'll make sure he knows that on the air. Our beloved Renus Pinkle. And she thinks Dane is the cutest thing in the world. He's kind of like a little blonde puppy dog. He's nice. I like Dane. Yeah, Mom's a big Dane fan. There you go. Look how adorable that little man is. Yeah, but Mama Kuda's getting the big double-ended dildo ready. She's waiting for Paulie to bring out his hog. There you go. If you haven't hit the like button by today, because we're working hard for your money, hit the like button on the video. We appreciate that. Smash the like button and subscribe, because why not? Speaking of Mama Kuda's 90-year-old pumpkin nectar vagina, delicious Bang energy drink. Delicious Bang energy drink. When you want something to moisten your mouth, Bang energy drink is right there for you. Does not taste like my mother's vag, but delicious purple haze, a yummy grape flavor is today's flavor. Thank you, Bang energy drink. And thank you, Lindy Lynch, for just smashing it. Ooh, yeah. Thank you, Keith Campbell, who sends Mama Kuda all love. Thank you, everyone who sends love to Mama Kuda. There we go. And Bozique wants to know, does Mama Kuda know we talk about her on the show? Mama Kuda watches the show live. She is upstairs right now in horror at the embarrassment I bring to our family name. Yes. Mm-hmm. She absolutely knows.
Yeah, big fan. Big
fan. Every Wednesday morning I hear aloud, "Oh, no, you disappointed the family again. How embarrassing. Oh, why do you say such things?" Lindy Lynch sends hi to Mama Kuda. Lindy, you could say hi to her at the wedding.
So, John, when are you showing your guitar?
When Lindy and I get married. I don't know. How long do we want to go tonight?
5 more minutes.
Yeah, this is
all right. So, Paulie, you show your guitar. I'll show my guitar.
This is John's opening act. And normally
our wedding, Lindy. Our wedding.
Normally, I wouldn't do this, but this is the best Les Paul I've ever owned. It is. Yeah. This This is not a Gibson Les Paul. I know what you're thinking. What? Hey,
but it looks like I'll play the role. It looks like a Les Paul, Paulie. It looks like a really nice Les Paul. What is it then?
This is a replica Les Paul, not a Gibson.
What?
Not a Gibson. This guitar. Whoa. Thank you, Lemmy.
It's not going to have a broken headstock like other Les
like,
Pauls.
I hear a woman.
Sometimes shown, right?
No, but if you look at you look at the inlays. I mean, it is perfectly aged. This guitar
looks beautiful. This
guitar was made by Max Baronet,
who
is the guy who built Slash's Les Pauls.
Wait a minute, Paulie, I hear those are of insane quality, and those are like what Slash played during the Appetite for Destruction era, and I hear they're insanely rare, valuable, and desirable.
They absolutely are. It is absolutely one of those. Thank you for noticing.
Thank you for showing.
Max no longer makes guitars. But this
shout out to Max, by the way, personal friend of the show.
This was made well over 20 years ago out of at least 75-year-old Honduran mahogany, which is what they made the 1959 Les Paul out of, and at least 50 to 75-year-old Brazilian rosewood on the fretboard. And it has vintage parts. All the parts are vintage to the ear. The pickups have been replaced. They are hand-wound PAF replicas. They ohm out at about 7.9 to 8 in each, and this was refinished by Dave Johnson up in Las Vegas, which is why it's so clean, but it's not really clean. It's absolutely aged. It is based upon, and this was handmade by Max Baronet. And I will not tell you what the guitar is worth, but if you do a guitar search on what Max Baronet guitars sell for, there is a huge, huge range. And this is not as expensive as a real 59, but it's not as cheap as a custom shop 59.
And you really can't get them. You really can't.
You can't get them. This is a very, very rare guitar. It is a very valuable guitar. I rarely take it out of its case because it is one of those guitars. It's like the Nigel Tufnell guitar. You can't look at it. It can't be played.
Don't look at it.
I do play it. I do play it once in a while.
As a treat.
Yeah,
just strum one G chord for us.
It is it's probably out of tune because it's been sitting in the
play a C chord.
Pluck a G string.
Yeah, it's out of tune because it's been sitting in the case forever.
Perfect tune.
Yep.
Well, you should have jammed with Johnny. You should have jammed with Johnny and I 3 weeks ago when we did the out of tune concert.
No, but it is a
complete video on that guitar is on the Zims Guitars YouTube channel.
Yes, it is.
About 2 months ago, we talked about that guitar and we got really up close shots of it.
Yeah, it is a
there you go.
It is a fucking phenomenal piece of art. And it was, now here's what it is. So Max, he built a jig to cut his guitars, and this is based on Pete Townsend. Pete Townsend had a 1959 Les Paul that he loaned Max, and Max basically took all of the measurements from Pete Townsend's 1959. So this is a replica of Pete Townsend's 59 Les Paul. It is a Max Baronet 59 Les Paul replica, and it is the absolute pinnacle of my guitar collection.
It's stunning.
It is a phenomenal guitar. I mean, it was built so that it doesn't even have the pickup holes drilled in it, because that's how Slash liked them. That's how Max built them. And it's a fucking amazing guitar. And yeah, there is a video of it where you can hear it plugged in and playing, and
Johnny will put a link in his description to my to that video, I hope. Thank you, Johnny.
And it's weird because, like Max Baronet guitars and shit, you have to have provenance for them and shit. So there's there's a letter and like all of these things that prove what it is.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but he didn't just buy this on a whim. He actually talked to Max.
Yeah, I talked to people literally. I made a phone call to somebody with Max in the room to verify its authenticity. So
people that
it
shall
is.
remain nameless, but
Yep.
yes.
But that's
Your
people that are
direct
literally.
lines to confirm with Max. Yes.
Yeah, I literally
I'll
called and
witness to
double
that.
checked on it. Yeah, I double checked
Yeah,
on it. I have communications with the people. Max will verify that this is his guitar, and it's fucking awesome. If you love Les Paul guitars, if you can't get a real 59, this is the best fake 59 you can buy. Unless you can find
Amanda Coombs.
Unless you can find a Chris Derrick, but Chris died in 1987, so it's going to be very difficult to find those. And Max hasn't made these in probably 15, 20 years.
And when he did, it was very rare and very expensive.
Yeah, you had to order them, as a personal order thing. And he changed it. He stopped putting the Gibson logo on the top of the headstock, and changed the design of the headstock and put his own name near the end when he stopped building guitars. So there you go. That's the opening act to John's guitar.
Nice. And
speaking
of,
you notice how gingerly I am with that guitar. I'm like very delicate with it.
Don't break it.
Don't drop that.
Speaking of Ginger and Marianne, we have Amanda Coombs and Lindy Lynch in the chat.
Girl fight. Oh,
scissors. I didn't say that. Anyway, today's show and tell guitar brought to you by the greatest kill switches in the market. Johnny, a professional level kill switch I'm talking about. I'm talking about Tessie Switch. I'm talking about Tessie Switch, baby. Tessie Switch. These are the ones you want. If you want a professional level kill switch put into your guitars, you want to go with a Tessie Switch. Those are the ones you could beat up and beat up and beat up. Beat it like you do your meat. Smash it like you do your dick in the shower. Beat it like it owes you money. Tessie Switch. Those are the ones you want. Professional grade kill switches, all sizes and shapes. Tessie Switch on your guitar. And of course, if you want to hot rod your guitar, you want to go the full max. You got Tessie Switch, you got Vinum custom pickups. Now you want to go for noiseless springs, tuners, a titanium bridge. You want to go to fu-tone.com. fu-tone.com, the great hot rod center for your guitars. They got everything. They got everything, and I mean everything. You want to get noiseless springs, you want titanium saddles, you want a new bridge, you want a whole hot rodded guitar ready to go, fu-tone.com is where you want to go. fu-tone.com, proud sponsor on the Johnny Beane channel and of Talking Guitars and 80s Metal Live. That's Johnny right there. There he is. Johnny likes stuff from FU-Tone. We all like stuff from FU-Tone. We all like Tessie Switch, Vine and Pickups, Swiss Picks, Bang Energy Drink, Delicious Kernels, Gourmet Popcorn, and more. We like all our sponsors because they support us, and we want you to support them, unlike Dane does, because he's gone again. There goes Dane. There goes Dane. Anyway, those are all the brands you want to buy. Today's show and tell guitar. I gave you the clue that there was a blue hippo emoji shown earlier in the chat. I have blue rhino, my little partner sidekick right there. And today is another blue animal as today's show and tell guitar. So, ladies and gentlemen, Johnny, if you please. Look
oh my
at that
gosh.
thing. Look
Nice.
at that thing. Right there, Johnny.
I gotta find the video. Have you been thinking about selling your vehicle? No.
No, I have not.
After tonight, yeah.
Have you thought about selling your vehicle to buy more guitars? Yeah. Have you thought about selling your vehicle to buy
Got it.
guitars? You got it? Okay. This is a Roscoe. Roscoe, for those that don't know, is was briefly a boutique guitar builder that made handmade guitars. He made them briefly and now is one of the #1 builders of boutique level handmade basses out there. Roscoe, very, very rare. This is only one of 2 I've ever owned. Roscoe guitars are so freaking good, but you can't find the damn things. Not these, not the metal ones. This particular one was hand painted by Keith Roscoe, who still makes these incredible boutique basses. Look at that. This is a almost 3D blue and white Bengal tiger. Such a pretty 3D kind of effect on that paint job. Now look at that. Really, really nice on that. And a maple board. These necks are really nice. It's a maple board with hand done inlays. Keith himself did this one. I got confirmation on that. And look at those inlays. Really, really cool. Hands-on inlays on a really nice dirty maple board. And check this shit out. Do you guys know these pickups? Bartolini pickups.
Oh, yeah. Bartolinis are cool.
And these were custom made at the time in conjunction with Roscoe. They still do custom Bartolini pickups for Roscoe basses, but this was when they had their guitars. These Bartolini pickups sound amazing, but they were custom tuned for Roscoe guitars. So even if you found one on the market, an old Bartolini pickup, unless it came out of a Roscoe, it's going to sound different. They wanted a specific tone for the Roscoe guitars that you wouldn't get out of Bartolini's normal pickups. So they're basically hot-rodded Bartolini pickups. And look at that. What do we got there? That is a Floyd Rose, boys and girls. Yes, sirree, Bob. You got a volume, tuner, and a 5-way selector.
Screw my old guy, Les Paul. Let's shred.
Les who? Look at that.
No, Roscoe's that's a rare fucking guitar. I love the staining of the neck.
I like the way the maple neck, you could see exactly where it was played. Look how clean the top is and how dirty the rest is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had one other Roscoe guitar, and it was an 80's Warrior, and just an insanely good guitar. This one, no less. And again, matching painted headstock. I don't know if this was like a NAMM display guitar or what, because the Roscoes usually didn't have a painted headstock, and Keith Roscoe personally painted this one and did the hand-done inlays, which are also very rare because Roscoe doesn't usually have these inlays. So either it was a custom order or maybe a display guitar for NAMM. I'm not sure, but I am sure that Keith himself did this one, and all the little extras on it. But this thing is great. I mean, these things really, really play nice. They feel good. It's a very heavy guitar. It's solid as a rock.
Please don't bump it into your microphone.
Yeah, not so much heavy. That was my leg, actually, but and the microphone's over there. But really, really well-made guitar. I love the feel of the dirty maple neck. Like I said, when a neck gets dirty, and I always say this, the oils from your finger make it super slick and beautiful. I grip it like I do my cock, and it's about the same. No, it's really not. But the tuner is the same size as my cock. And look at those tuners. Aren't they cool? And I like their logo, too. I like Roscoe's logo. Again, they only made these for like 1 or 2 years during the height of the 80s, like 87, I believe they were made. And then he just went back onto basses. He just wanted to throw some into everyone was jumping on the shred guitar bandwagon. There was a huge demand for shredder guitars. He said, hey, I make great basses. I'll bet I can make great guitars. He did. And then he basically went back to basses, and he's done basses since that day. But you won't see Roscoe guitars very often. And I remember one specific graphic really caught my eye, and it was a woman sucking a dick. And it was positioned on here so that the dick looked like it was coming out of the guitarist. If the guitarist like held it down here, it looked like the woman graphic was sucking the guitarist's dick. Really, really a great one. I think that one was done by Pamelina, if I remember. But really, really very, very cool guitars. Just a nice feeling shredder guitar. If you get a chance to get one, and it's, one of the shredder ones with the pointy headstock, go for it. Because I know originally they made it with like a really goofy headstock. You know, it wasn't a very attractive guitar. They made some natural woods that were just like, okay, the ones you really want are the graphics. The graphic ones, if you can get one or something from that era with the pointed headstock, you really want one. I highly, highly recommend them. Very cool. Roscoe Guitars, 1987 Strat, custom Bartolini pickups, hand done by Keith Roscoe himself. And that is your show and tell guitar of the week. Let's see what we got in the chat. Let's see. Leo Safko had Bartolini's in his old Charvel bass.
Yeah, I had Bartolini's in an Ibanez bass.
These particular Bartolini's, I've played Bartolini's before, and they're great. They're really, really good pickups.
They're hot.
Like Wally said. Very hot. And these were particularly tuned, I guess, by request to be a little different by Keith Roscoe. That's just what he wanted. It's what he ordered, and it's what he got. Let's see. Amanda says it has the curves of a woman. Ooh la la, yes it does. Let's see.
You made it weird.
Else. I really did, right?
Yeah, you made it weird.
Yeah, Amanda likes the logo. I also like the logo. I thought it was a very 80s hairband looking logo. Look how cool that is. With the tuners fitting right in the middle of the letters. I dig that. I like the pointed headstock too. I think they got it right. Really good design. Let's see.
I think the 3D effect, you can get it when you turn it a certain way and your eyes focus on it. You do dive into it.
Yeah, it's really neat, right?
I like that finish a lot more than a lot of the guitars that you show, and that's sort of a bluish purple, like a midnight blue.
Yeah, like a midnight blue, but you can see the way they gray toned it over the white, that it looks kind of 3D, like it's standing maybe a half inch over the white.
And it's interesting. It's like a lot of those. I don't want to say Escher, but a lot of those optical illusion guitar finishes where sometimes you focus on the dark and sometimes you focus on the light, and when you focus on each one of them, the guitar takes on a different texture immediately. When you focus on the white, the dark pops differently. When you focus on the dark, the white comes forward. It's like those pictures you see on Facebook, where they have people try to tell you whether or not it's a blue or a green dress. That guitar has that sort of same optical illusion to your eyes when they focus on the different features of the guitar. It's an impressive look. It's one of the more unique guitars that you own.
Thank you. And if you stare into it long enough, you could see a sailboat. If you,
it's a schooner. You fucking idiot.
Let's see.
That's a beautiful Mallrats pull right there for those of you that didn't get it.
Let's see.
A schooner. It's a fucking sailboat, you idiot.
Kai Matthews is.
Why don't I see it?
Kai is asking if I have any of Satchel's guitars. I do have a very old Gunslinger that used to belong to him, a blue with pink hot rod flames that used to belong to Satchel.
I love that we accept that he's Satchel now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's no longer Russ Parrish.
Parrish is a gone name.
Now doesn't exist anymore.
He's Satchel. I do own one of Satchel's.
Just like Ralph Saenz has gone from being Michael Diamond to Michael Starr.
Yeah.
I mean, we just accept it. We're just cool with it.
Listen, some guy named Saul Hudson is now Slash. Go figure.
By the way, I asked a trivia question this morning. We do a trivia game where I put people up against my partner Mark to see who knows more. And one of the trivia questions was C.C. DeVille's real name is Christopher Charles DeVille. True or false? His real name is Christopher Charles DeVille, and the person guessed true. I'm like, you fucking dummy.
It should have been C.H. DeVille.
Yeah. Christopher Charles DeVille. I'm like, no, it's Cadillac Coupe DeVille, you dummy.
No, his real name was
Bruce
David Seville, formerly of the Chipmunks band. Yes, David.
Ting
Dave
tang, walla, walla,
Seville.
big bang. Yes, but I love that. I was like Christopher Charles DeVille, and the guy was like, true. No.
Let's see. By the way, when Jay Hannon says "bear" instead of "meh," it's a different word. He's saying "bear" as in "bear."
Bah.
Meh,
Bah,
meh
bah.
meh is what David Crosby says about Eddie Van Halen. So
Oh, Renus Pinkle. His real name is a long duck dong. No more Yankee, my wanky. The donga need food.
let's see. And thank you, Kurt. Let's see. Oh yeah, so Satchel's guitar that I own, it's an old BC Rich Gunslinger, blue with pink flames, and it was when they were not known as Steel Panther, when they were known earlier as
Metal School or Metal Shop.
As neither actually. When they were doing the Danger Kitty years,
Danger Kitty,
which they were actually technically known as Metal School and Metal Shop. Also,
yeah, Danger Kitty was just owned by Discover Card.
And what's really funny is, yeah, if you look back, you could probably find it on YouTube. You could look up a Steel Panther Discover Card commercial or Danger Kitty. And this guitar was in that commercial, and he was touring with it at the time under Metal School. And at some point, I guess it went to a studio and they bought it or repossessed it or whatever happened, and I got it from that recording studio. But he never knew what happened to that guitar. He was always wondering where it wound up, and I ran into him at NAMM and I told him I owned it, and he was like all over the place happy about it, because he says, to this day I have a poster of that guitar over my bed and I still admire it. If you ever get rid of it, let me know. I'd love to get that back. And it's one of my favorite gunslingers, so it's not going anywhere. But it's still a fun commercial. If you look at the Danger Kitty Discover Card commercial on YouTube.
I remember that commercial.
All right, I gotta go. It's 3.5 hours in.
I think we all gotta go.
Johnny has to go play GTA.
Johnny's got to go count some money, and
I've got the flu.
Listen. We all want to thank our audience, because we love, appreciate, and respect you, especially appreciate. And
he's shilling right now.
Let's ask for everyone to hit the like button and say thank you, especially to our beloved channel members. Johnny has posted them, even with a timer blocking some of those names.
That's money well spent right there.
I'd still love to read them if only that.
Don't read them. It takes too long. We only have another half hour.
No, listen,
they're right there. They're right there. Tell somebody just pause the show and read them yourself.
Yeah, if you look
to
at
them,
that
it's not
screen,
blocked.
There's a lot of names on there. You can, let's see. So we can see them. Let's look at my live screen. Let's see.
I gotta go to bed.
Let's see. All right. I'll read them real fast. Thank you
too.
to our channel members: David Allen Wright, Mike Neese, Kinnan Neighbors, Paul Martin Woods, Mr. Mick, Bobby Dukakis, Smallmouth Guy, Lawrence Christensen, Symmetry, Majestic PB and J Cat, Warlag, Sherman Callahan, James S 5150, James Gumwano, Thomas Santiago, Vinyl Freak 5150, Dan Halen, James G Music Therapy, Laz, Andy Carson, Rick Green, the Chad, Christopher Live, Sawa, All Dave, All Night, Murphy, Steve Barton, Fernando Riley, Laguna Palms, Robot Master Switch, R2, R3, Locking Nut, 6 Cheek 71, John Morana, Hillary Lewis, Jeff T, 5150 TV, Kurt, 5150, KXM Rock, Arhab, Stephen Franklin, Carol Hatcher, Sean Shreds, Margaret Scranton, Michael the Captain Smith, Jesus Rapes Me, Nicole Mrazek, Brian Spalding, False Flag, Gus BC Rich, Hugh Caldwell, Jim Nicholas, Mr. BHB Jr., that's Bruce, Thomas Santiago, Lenny Lou, Feel Better, my little geriatric sex kitten Mary, Bozique, and Steve Carmichael. Also,
Carmichael.
Picani, me love you a long time. Shout out to Erica. Shout out to Carlos, my house sitter. Shout out to my buddy Mike Mers. Shout out to Erica and her wife Sophie. Shout out to Paulie Snot Rag. Paulie do got the bike week crud. Thank you to Dave Zimmerman. Dave Zimmerman. Check out Zim's Guitars if you're in Arizona. Say hi to our buddy Dane. Of course, thank you, the great Neanderthal and Johnny Beane, raking in the cash tonight. Hit the like button and leave comments on the video. We love to get comments. We love and thank you and appreciate you. And we'd love to see you hit us on review on Google. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, please.
please. Anything
so
else,
much.
guys? Anything else?
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Talking Van Halen on Twitch.
Fuck Mitch Malloy.
Woo! There it is.
Oh my!
He will
gosh.
not be in the Van Halen tribute, apparently. Not if Paulie has anything to say about it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is the good news. If I put the pick up my nose this time, it would never have even reached my sinuses. It would have been just stuck in the gloop of the, or like stuck in, it was like dropping a guitar pick in a jar of mayonnaise.
I'll be spanking up a batch of my special mayonnaise for anyone that wants to place an order.
Hip Metalworks with the big rec pull. Nice job.
Nice.
We're going to end this thing?
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye.
Good night, everybody. Be nice to each other out there.
Yeah, be nice to us.
Well, keep doing that. I'm going to masturbate to that sound. This is the sound I leave on school children's telephone message.
Oh
machine.
my gosh.
Oh my gosh.